What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? We got in the chat, man. We got in this chat, man. We got in this chat. What's up, y'all? How are y'all doing? I hope y'all had a beautiful day. What's good, Just? What's good, we the jury? How you doing, Angel Crispin? Real world topics and real world conversations. Ooh-wee. Seven in the building. Who are y'all? I can't hear you. You don't even know what we're talking about, Just. Just is like, where that link at, man? Where that link at, guys? Just is link fiending. Hold on, Just. Y'all have a good day? Y'all have a good day? Woo-hoo. What's going on? Let's fix that real quick. I gotta readjust this. Gotta readjust this. That's what I need to do. Equipment, Jack. Equipment, Jack. Equipment. There we go. How y'all doing? Whew. All right. Anyway. We're good. So, ain't really much news. Ain't really a whole lot going on. But I'll tell you what. We can go over this right here. Some real world topics. Hold on, man. Son of a bitch. Okay. Y'all with me? 7 people with me, man? What's up, Neville? Welcome to the stream. What's up, Neville? Welcome to the stream, yo. Oh, it's too fun. This is too easy, man. Thank you, Mr. Hodges. I appreciate you, sir. Way to be there, bro. Way to be there. There's that link. There you go, Just. There you go, Just. Since I was scared, like today I was scared. Yesterday I was scared. The day before I was scared. Tomorrow I'm gonna be scared. Today I might be scared to drop that link. Tomorrow, try again tomorrow, Willie. Try again tomorrow. All right, man. Check it out, yo. Tucker Carlson confirms he will be interviewing Vladimir Putin, y'all. First of all, there's 12 people in here. How do y'all feel about this? How y'all feel about Tucker? I know this conversation is way over some of y'all's heads, but just a few. Just a few in here. What's poppin', killer? My moderators was ready to whack. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. That quick. So I want to know how y'all feel about what's up, Spider-Man? About Tucker here, man. I feel like Tucker's just doing what's right. I'm not in disagreement with journalists. I'm not here for like yeah, we love Ant Team. Team Smoke's good with us, bro. I'm not against journalists. Like, this is real journalism. I don't know what else these people call like not interviewing Putin. And I think he'll tell you right here. He'll tell you.
We're in Moscow tonight. We're here to interview the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. We'll be doing that soon. There are risks to conducting an interview like this, obviously. So we thought about it carefully over many months. Here's why we're doing it. First, because it's our job. We're in journalism. Our duty is to inform people. Most Americans have no idea why Putin invaded Ukraine or what his goals are now. They've never heard his voice. That's wrong. Americans have a right to know all they can about a war they're implicated in, and we have the right to tell them about it because we are Americans too. Freedom of speech is our birthright. Anyone can watch the entire thing, shot live to tape and unedited, on our website, tuckercarlson.com. Elon Musk, to his great credit, has promised not to suppress or block this interview once we post it on his platform, X, and we're grateful for that. Western governments, by contrast, will certainly do their best to censor this video on other less principled platforms because that's what they do. They are afraid of information they can't control. But you have no reason to be afraid of it. We are not encouraging you to agree with what Putin may say in this interview, but we are urging you to watch it. You should know as much as you can. And then, like a free citizen and not a slave, you can decide for yourself.
Thank God we've got journalists like this. Kevin Jones said, didn't Fox TV throw Tucker under the bus over the Dominion machines? I'm not sure what it was about. Boy, I swear. Boy, there's so much bad journalism on this, man. There is so much horrible journalism on this in America. Like, they don't hear thinking. I'm thinking they're not wanting us to know anything about what's going to go on or what's going on, right? Now they've got Tucker on a watch. Shit.
To really keep what's going on.
Salute, Wookie. Salute, G. Salute, Kevin. Salute. Amazing.
A viral tweet going around. In fact, there are several viral tweets to the tune of millions of views claiming that Tucker Carlson was placed on a kill list over his interview with Vladimir Putin. Man, there is a lot to break down here. It's kind of
So Tucker was now put on a kill list because he interviewed Putin. Look, man, here's the problem with journalism. Here's the problem with propaganda. You can't be a journalistic news media platform and then you're taking bribe money from our government is horrible, you guys. My stomach is turning from the fact that our government does what it does to us.
Hard to title a show like this. We only get so many characters because it's half true and technically not true. He wasn't just placed on this list. He's been on this list for a long time. And it's not literally a kill list, but it is effectively a target list. Tucker Carlson has already been on it. Because of his interview with Vladimir Putin, naturally, people are very, very pissed off, and he's being accused, once again, of being a Russian asset or propaganda. But the real threat right now, aside from obvious death threats, and Tucker's probably got serious security issues because of this, but the EU has actually entertained sanctioning Tucker Carlson over his interview with Vladimir Putin. Several members of EU Parliament have expressed their intention to have him reviewed, as it were. It seems like a long shot, but it is very interesting. And it brings up a very interesting point, which I'm going to just say it bluntly. Why does anyone care that Tucker Carlson interviewed the president of a country we are not at war with? Because the answer is obvious. We are at war with Russia. And they are now outraged that an American journalist, Tucker Carlson, is interviewing the president of a country we are at war with.
Man, that's pretty hardcore right there. Did you hear that? They don't want Tucker. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
And that's it. I think it's plainly obvious, and it's been for a long time. Most of us who've been paying attention is that we are in this war. Chuck Schumer recently said we could lose this war, and that's why they're mad. They have unilaterally engaged in a war without congressional approval, without declaration, and they're trying to hide it from the American people.
Do you understand what that means? Hold on. Do y'all understand what that means, man? What's popping, big boy? Salute to you. Hey, do you understand what that means, man? I'm honestly...
Or without congressional approval, without declaration, engaged in a war without congressional approval. It's plainly obvious, and it's been for a long time. Most of us who've been paying attention is that we are in this war. Chuck Schumer recently said we could lose this war, and that's why they're mad. They have unilaterally engaged in a war without congressional approval, without declaration, and they're trying to hide it from the American people.
That is insane to think about, y'all. You know how increasingly stupid that is for them to do this?
Time to add the tobacco.
Tobacco don't go in that bullshit, man.
We all knew. But I think the sentiment is there, and it's fairly obvious. So we'll talk about that. Plus a bunch of other stories that are very interesting. The border bill has been crushed. It's gone. Bernie Sanders says he won't support a bill with Israel. And now, of course, bro, you really got to stop.
Really?
Like, come on,
I'm
bro.
trying
It's
so far away
loud,
from the
and you're
mic.
sipping into the microphone.
Oh, my bad.
Jeez.
Okay, tell me, Bernie. Sorry about that.
I've totally lost my train of
You're
thought
good.
as you're slurping 3 cans into the
No,
microphone.
I'm clicking them off the.
You're slurping into the microphone,
Oh,
bro.
I'm just talking.
I can totally hear
All
you.
right, sorry
I'm like,
about that.
man, I can't even. I don't even know what I was talking about.
Bernie,
You broke my train of thought when I was trying to talk about Tucker Carlson. I'm like, you're cracking open cans.
Bernie said he wouldn't support a bill that
Before
funds
we get
Israel.
started, my friends, welcome to the show. Head over to castbrew.com and pick up your favorite coffee. The best.
Oh, man.
Clicking join us.
I am the co-host.
Which I'm going to mix them all together like the alchemist I am. Great to see Natalie. Tim, I love you. Hannah Claire, it's really good to see you again.
Vladimir Putin.
So you're
But then
telling me to
I
tell
realized
me
the gravity of some of these tweets. You've got this tweet.
we could quite possibly already be in a war. We could quite possibly already be sitting in a war. What are you doing, Just? You're ruining my train of thought. I'm just kidding, bro. But we could already be in a war. That's scary. That's scary to think about, that our government could quite possibly already have us in a war. That's very frightening.
From Juanita Broderick with 12,000 retweets, 31,000 likes, and 3.8 million views, followed by a quote tweet from Cat Turd with 1.7 million views and 15,000 retweets. Juanita Broderick says this POS dictator Zelensky has put Tucker Carlson on a kill list for interviewing Putin. Biden has helped him with your tax dollars. This is incorrect. Okay. Cat Turd says this should disqualify this corrupt POS from getting another dime from our country. The challenge here is it's a massively viral story that is half wrong, half right. No Ukrainian government official, according to the fact check, has placed Tucker Carlson on this list. In fact, this website has had Tucker Carlson on the list going back to August. So he wasn't just placed on it, and it wasn't because of the interview with Vladimir Putin. Now, to be fair, Juanita Broderick did not say
bro.
because
imagine being
or actually
on
no,
an American watch list that that people want you dead, dude. Imagine being on a watch list.
she literally did say for interviewing Putin. It appears that there is another entry placed because of following his interview with Putin. Now, it's not a kill list. It's a propaganda directory of some sort, a resource for pro-Ukraine individuals. And the reason why I say it's kind of half true is the fact checkers are trying to claim it's not a kill list. It's literally not, but it kind of is. You know what I mean? If you're a high profile individual and you appear on this list, they are basically saying to anybody who might have access to you, you are a bad person who is working against them. And of course, it has been reported that many people who do appear on the list have been killed.
What?
You know, and I don't know how many or what the ratio is.
What?
But I do certainly think it was important to start with this because it's gone a little bit crazy on social media. That being said, I want to highlight something that I thought I had this pulled up, but now it's gone. Totally lost.
Come on, Ian, with your cans. And
It's
Taking a sip for that one.
Absolutely. Yeah. What happened to this story that we had pulled? It's just gone. It's literally gone. So you've got NBC News. Oh, perhaps it's right here. We got it. There we go. NBC News. Last March, Iowa police investigated a bomb threat targeting a junior high school. They determined that the threat was a hoax, but a detective from the police department had a theory about its possible inspiration, the Libs of TikTok account. Here's why I want to put these stories together. Okay. Tucker Carlson has been on a list since August. He has another entry added to the list. It appears, I could be wrong.
Did Dennis Rodman, he went and seen the dude from South Korea, right? But he didn't go over there to get an interview, did he? And we weren't at war with South Korea either, I don't think. But I wonder if he is, because he goes and meets all these fucking weird people and shit. North Korea. Okay, yeah, that's the bad one, right? North Korea. Who knows, man? Like, we're being told all this shit about Russia, dude, and this shit ain't probably even real, man. You know? He did hang with him. Yeah, he went and hung out with him, I think. I think Rodman gets a kick out of going and hanging out with these murderers or some shit. Like, let's go hang out with Kim Jong-un. What the fuck, bro? Who goes to hang out with Kim Jong-un? But what I'm focusing on here is what Tim said about us being unilaterally being in a war that we have no idea about. Because if you think about it, every fucking bill that gets passed, what does it have in it? Billions of dollars for Ukraine. Every fucking month. Every month we're giving billions of dollars to Ukraine, bro. Every single month. And it hasn't stopped. Now we're giving it to Israel. Are we in these wars or not? American people might not think we're in them. But I guarantee you Russia and fucking all the other Middle Eastern states and shit across the seas, they definitely believe we're at a war with them. If we're funding this war, you might as well say we're in a war.
Remember when COVID, all these countries, when we were able to take off the mask and shit like that and be free, other countries were going ape shit. They were teaming up, unity, and partnering up, going on the streets, going against the police. Why the fuck we can't have that in United States of America when it comes down to standing
We can.
down or standing on something? Like, what the fuck?
We can, bro. We can.
Could be the same. It looks different.
But being in
Following
a war
his interview with Vladimir
Russia
Putin,
and
he
us
certainly
not knowing
is
about its
under a
citizens,
heightened
that's
security
detrimental to
threat.
our
He's
lives,
probably getting
man.
death threats. These
Whether
fact
we
checkers
want it or not.
on the community note say it's not a kill list. It's not a kill list. The corporate press then claims libs of TikTok, same day today, is inspiring bomb threats by targeting individuals.
Wow.
So it's funny how when it comes to the perceived enemies of the establishment, no, you know, or I should say, yeah, they're not being threatened. They're not on a kill list. But when it comes to someone reporting on and sharing information, which does create a threat to the establishment, they say you are inspiring death and kill lists. They call it stochastic terrorism. This is a tactic of the left where they accuse the right. When the right says, hey, I am critical of your thing, they call it stochastic terrorism. Then when Tucker Carlson is placed in the crosshairs, they say, no, it's totally fine. They're just saying, you know, he's a propagandist. But the outrage is crazy. I don't know what you guys think of the corporate press so far and their
I'm going to be, dude, this fucking interview is going to be top fucking notch, bro. Could you imagine sitting there interviewing Vladimir Putin, bro? The world's most hated fucking man, dude. That man is hated, bro.
Painting posts about Tucker Carlson and Vladimir Putin.
It's complete hysterics, isn't it? It's kind of wild. I mean, it's these confusing articles that come out where they're saying Tucker Carlson says he's the only one who's tried to interview him, and you'll get a quote from an AP reporter being like, does he really think he's the only one who wants to talk to Putin? And at the same time, they're sort of condemning him for talking to Putin. You say, what do you guys want? Did you guys want to have the exclusive, or are you mad that he's doing this?
Well, how about this? Any country that we have given hundreds of billions of dollars to, I don't think we should be in a debate over the semantics of whether or not it's a kill list or it's some, government hit list. And it happens to be that Americans who have ended up on that list have been basically killed by the Ukrainian government. And I think people don't understand the lengths to which the regime has gone to.
You seen 50 Cent coming at the governor?
What is going on in Ukraine?
I'm in love, bro.
You saw 50 Cent going at the governor?
Yes, I did.
That is fire. That is what I'm talking about right there. Yes. You can't run from that, baby.
That's the start right there.
You can't run from that. Where are you going to go? What are you going to say? You got to say something. You got to show up. Are you going to have somebody?
It's a start, bro. I'm in love, man. She knows her politics.
And I think why you're seeing these crazy numbers, in some ways, I think it's sort of the Streisand effect, as cliche as that may sound. But look, they don't want Tucker Carlson to interview Putin. I would say look no further than the fact that it was less than a week after Russia invaded Ukraine back in February that the Pentagon, again, they never publicly announced it, but I believe it was The Intercept through FOIA, got documents showing that they reestablished the Influence and Perception Management Office, which they basically use to spread misinformation and disinformation. They say counter misinformation and disinformation, not just abroad, but domestically here at home too. And that's why I think you see them in free fall, because they've had such a monopoly on trying particularly to control this narrative, not just because Ukraine works as part of their broader global agenda, but I think on a personnel and personal level, when you talk about, the Biden family's involvement there, I think Ukraine has just sort of been a cash cow for a lot of DC elites. So I think that's why you're seeing such a mad rush to really keep what's going on there under wraps.
So the website,
who all thinks that they're trying to keep what's going on with Ukraine and Russia under wraps? Like, why don't we see journalism over there like we do why don't we see journalists? Come on, man.
My understanding is not official, is not affiliated with the government officially, but has worked with law enforcement sources in Ukraine and foreign government sources for verification of, information or whatever. So it's kind of just like
the fact checkers here.
Well, but I would say this is clearly a information warfare asset for them, listing all these people and showing all this propaganda and things like this. And the government uses contractors. It would be absurd to be like, oh, no, they're not CIA. They're just a contractor for the CIA. They're a totally private entity. They're not associated with the government. The president's not involved. They just sometimes coordinate. You know what I mean?
And we pay their bills on occasion.
But have there been American citizens who are on this list and killed?
I believe there were, or I don't know if it was necessarily this list, but I think the whole Gonzalo Lira case, I'm pretty sure he was.
I'd have to imagine he's been on their list, and then they
Yeah.
hunted him down, and now
Yeah.
he's reportedly dead. You know,
But my point is, we shouldn't even be in a space where there's gray area about whether or not it's like a kill. It regardless, or if Americans are dead or alive, like for a country that we have given so much money to.
but it's not a government website, so it's
but I think it more or less, I think that's like saying the fact-checking organizations here in the United States that have been set up as sort of outfits of federally funded institutions, or they're receiving federal funds. It's like, well, I guess they're technically not, but I think that's precisely the point. They like to be able to play that kind of shell game,
Right.
say, oh, well, it's technically not the government, but by all intents and purposes, it is.
It is acting in the interest of the government, and probably has some kind of, intermediary.
That's
between the two.
fascism. It's fascism, man. It's why it's so hard to combat, because you can't really see it a lot of times, especially in the age of corporatism.
I just love how they're
Fascism,
it's
man.
not a kill list.
This is
okay, just some people on it have been killed. There is a difference, but there is a difference.
Why
That's
is there a
true.
list?
But it's kind of like, they're putting crosshairs over.
I
Tucker
think we
Carlson.
should be this
Why is
specific.
there a lit? Look, if what's up? What's popping it, Lex? What's popping it, Lex? What's popping it? Why is okay? So they say it's not an off you list, right? You're not going to die if you're on this list. Why is there even a list, right? Why are these people on this list where people are ended up dead on it, bro? And it's all because you don't want people to know certain things. Jesus
If
Christ.
we're gonna go line by line on whether it's a kill list or like a
You know
target
what I
list, how
feel
about
like?
we audit all the bills?
Isn't
I
that
feel like-
similar? Isn't that similar to like a rap song of
You know what kills me? The government has come out with all this technology, right? They've come out with all this technology. And the government wants to use this technology to spy on us like crazy. Wants to know what we're looking at on the internet, wants to know who we're calling, wants to know all that shit. But you know what's funny to me is when we turn around and use it on them, they don't fucking like it. It's not so fun anymore, is it? Like, no, you can't go talk to Vladimir Putin. The fuck I can't. I'm a goddamn American.
Billions that we have sent to Ukraine
I
with
come
that
home-
same level of a fine-tooth comb, but these people don't actually care about semantics.
don't know where that
right?
money went.
Exactly.
Bro,
They're
they don't want him talking to Putin for a reason.
Oh, I get it now. I get it now.
They saying that we're at war with Russia. Look, what if Putin comes on there and says, well, America's been funding this motherfucker. You know, America's been funding this war. They're saying that Russians aren't like, I think what Tucker Carlson's going to touch on a lot, and that's just from what I've seen, is that the Russian people aren't enslaved. They aren't like a crazy country like they used to be. You know what I mean? Like they're not like a communist, you know what I mean? They're trying to, all of this has been propaganda, bro. We have just been lied to, basically. Everything we've learned about Russia, known about Russia, it's all been fucking lies, bro. That place collapsed and had to rebuild.
never
gone.
going to audit it. Yeah.
No,
So-
for real. Like, wasn't it reported like half the
No,
money?
they actually do not know
Yeah,
where
it's
it
gone.
is. This
It's
is
just
this
gone.
is-
And the best part too, speaking of how the mainstream media has continuously run cover on this narrative, I believe it was back in October of last
Mainstream
year.
media.
It was not leaked, but were talking with Politico from the Biden White House saying that the new narrative that they wanted on the Ukraine war was that our aid packages over there were actually a boon to the United States economy. It was great for the manufacturing base. It was great for jobs, just the most bogus BS narrative you've ever heard. But a month, 2 months later, you can look back at some of the stories. All these media outlets started running with this narrative, basically saying, oh, Ukraine contracts. Oh, it's great for, it's great for the defense contractors. Yeah, I guess it's great for the Beltway. But this was even down to like local newspapers and like affiliate stations pumping this very fake narrative that was disseminating directly from the White House. If you traced it from what they were saying in Politico all the way to these newspapers. So they've obviously have been working overtime to really create this. And I think too, it's really interesting. There's this entity in DC called the U.S. Ukraine Business Council. It's sort of like a lobbying group. But again,
I think the American shutdown is coming, guys. We're gonna start realizing that our government has been doing nothing but lying to us, hand over fucking mouth, bro. They've been lying to us, man. And they just may be perhaps have us in a war with Russia and we not know a fucking thing about it. Nothing at all. but we got Ukraine on the front line.
Play a little bit of semantics where they say we're not registered foreign lobbyists, but they're hosting meetings all the time with defense contractors. But they have sitting members of Congress, including Democratic Representative Marcy Kaptur, listed as one of their strategic advisors. So there really is this, I think, maybe like Chinese door is that's the wrong country, sort of a good way to put it.
Didn't
But when
get
you're
voted
dealing with
on.
Ukraine, I think
The
especially
American
now that
people
they're
aren't mad at
at war, it's like there really is no meaningful difference, I think, between what the country is doing when they're sort of tangentially related to the government and it not being a direct asset of the government. But frankly, even I'm sure you guys remember how FTX was partnered, I believe it was with the Ministry of Digital Transformation in Ukraine, that story. Like, even if you want to go down the route of going down specific Ukrainian government entities that have been caught up in corruption, there are, I would say, dozens of those avenues that you could pursue too, but the media is never going to do that. So they're just going to play word semantics with like kill list versus not try to kind of straw man, or I guess maybe
because they're still trying to rebrand Ukraine as a sympathetic country that is justified in getting billions of American dollars.
A sympathetic country like Ukraine would not be capable of having a kill list because they're democracy, right? If Ukraine loses, like they are the bastion of democracy.
It is kind of funny that Ukraine is literally the opposite of democracy.
Yeah.
They'll just kill you if you're in the way. They're suspending the elections.
Yeah.
Hey, when the Washington Post said democracy dies in darkness.
All elections in Ukraine right now. Like, that's wild, bro.
It wasn't a warning. They were telling you their playbook. That's what they want to do.
Well, here's the other big news. We have this from Scanner, SCNR.com. EU considers sanctioning Tucker Carlson over interview with Vladimir Putin. Officials say any sanctions would likely require proof that Carlson is linked directly to Moscow's aggression, which is a meaningless statement because they will just come out and be like, Tucker Carlson ran cover for Vladimir Putin. Lawmakers in the EU are weighing sanctioning news media heavyweight Tucker Carlson as a result of his forthcoming interview with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov confirmed Tucker had met and talked with Putin, as did the former Fox News anchor himself in a post to social media platform X explaining why he sat down with the head of Russia. EU officials are considering imposing a travel ban on Carlson, who they say is acting as a mouthpiece for Putin.
I got a question
Quote,
for anybody.
as Putin is a war criminal and the EU sanction.
If you guys were journalists, would you guys interview Vladimir Putin?
All who assist him in that effort, it seems logical that the External Action Service examine his case as well. There's an important takeaway from this. I mentioned it in the introduction to the show. Why would anyone, political, celebrity, personality, journalist, why would anyone care that Tucker Carlson interviewed the president of a country we're not at war with?
That's a fact.
Are they going to cry and complain Xi Jinping came to California or came to the United States?
That's a fact.
No, they don't care. Oh, it's because the reality is we are at war with Russia. And what's going on in Ukraine is just the U.S. using them as a proxy to go to war with Russia. We all know it.
That's fucking insane, you guys. That is unreal, dude. What's poppin', Super Co? This is unreal, bro. And to understand how fucking easy that would be just to have us at war with somebody, and we don't even know. Americans don't even know, yo. As a journalist, you should be able to interview anyone. Hold on, let me get a good fucking picture of this. As a journalist, you should be able to interview anyone. I understand why people would be reluctant to, though. But reluctant to, right? Like, but you should be able to do it, correct? You should be able to do it. I mean, being reluctant to would be you choosing not to, right? It wouldn't be the job. It would just be like my morals, my standards. I don't want to do that. But as a journalist, if you're not at war, I mean, I understand that they didn't want our journalist over there in Russia, in Germany, trying to interview Hitler. I get that, right? We're at war with this guy, but we're not at war with Russia. This is a country that we're not at war with. What are they scared of, bro? And we're talking about the whole European Union. They want
Everyone in Europe knows it. Chuck Schumer said we could lose this war. And so there it is, right in front of your face. The fascinating thing is, at least when we invaded it,
they got Ukraine at this war, right? And if they lose that war, what?
Iraq, we knew that we were going to war. They said it. Since then, I think the deep state, the establishment has just figured out, don't say you're going to war. Just do it. Just go.
Yeah.
Here we are.
It's wild. I mean, I think with
that's scary to think of.
Sort of like we were talking before, the rebranding of Ukraine, there has also been a long time narrative that Russia is the biggest enemy we have. And I think you're right to bring up China and especially everything, all of the comments about the Uyghur Muslims and everything else that has gone on there. We definitely treat these two world powers very differently. I think, you know, it's obviously, in my opinion, brave and admirable that Tucker's going to interview someone who is controversial. I think the fact that so many European countries have said we're going to try and shut Russia's access to the Western world down, both economically and socially, is disturbing. I think they are ultimately feeding a lot of propaganda to their own people. And if we're not at war, then what could Putin say? You know, if he's such a horrible person, what is he going to say that you think you can't refute in your own media?
That is so goddamn. I'm in love. I'm in love. Get your skinny ass over here, Clara. Bring your skinny ass over here to AD. Damn. I appreciate that, Scooter. Good shit, Scooter. Appreciate you, G. I would question the motivation for the interview as to why Tucker would want to talk to him. I get that. I get that.
If the Russians were the aggressors and we wanted this war to end, then diplomacy would be good. You could go talk to him. Maybe he would stop fighting. But that they seem to not want diplomacy, which indicates that maybe we're the aggressors here. And it's kind of like if I come up to you and I'm like, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you, but I'm an inch away from your face. I'm aggressing on you. Even though if you swat my hand away, I was the one that was aggressing on you.
See, I think they don't want transparency. I
That's
think, you know,
what it
all these
is.
stories for a while.
See what I mean? I'm in love, girl. I might have to feed you a few ham sandwiches and a couple cows, but I'm gonna beef you up. Don't worry. But let me tell you something, man. She is the exact answer. They don't want transparency, bro. They don't want us knowing what's going on in Russia. It's just like they don't want Russia knowing what's going on here. But little do they know everyone knows what's going on everywhere. Why would you keep the mainstream media out of it? Huh?
What up, Spidey?
Spidey in here? What's up, Spidey?
Putin is super sick and he's going to die at any second, and that will cause chaos. And Russia is going into an election year.
We're yet
if
to
someone
see,
were
though,
to,
Kevin.
you know, speak to Putin and say, "Are you sick?"
Appreciate
you know, maybe he'd lie, but at least you would have a Western outlet asking a question instead of it coming telephone through Europe.
Yeah.
I think the ultimate goal is to make it so Russia is too far out of touch for anyone to communicate with, and so you have to rely on agencies like the UN or other European, you know, large-scale government entities to say, this is what Russia's doing. Believe us. Don't question it at all.
Yeah.
And by the way, if all of these news outlets really hate state-run media so much, I believe I'm not mistaken, it's the New York Times, I think CNN too, the Washington Post. They take money from China Daily to run advertisements in their papers. These have all.
Yeah, Scooter. That GDN love. Nah. They don't let the GD in the dope.
What a GD.
JD. JD. Yeah, what's good?
Well, here's the real question to ask. What's popping, Primo? I see you slide in there. Have we lost so much faith in our own government that we believe Putin could say something that we would believe over our own government? I don't. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Right. Here's the thing. I think people are really blowing this out of proportion before it even comes out, right? Because mind you, as an American, Tucker Carlson is a proud American, right? He's a real, true, proud American. He loves our country. So he says, I don't think that Tucker's going to ask anything from someone. I don't think he's going to ask Putin something that's going to morally challenge the United States, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I just don't know. So if Putin dropped a bombshell, would we be inclined to believe what he is saying? No. Good question, though. Damn good question. But I'm inclined to want to hear what it is, right? Is that a bad thing? What's
Right.
up, Crisis? I'm inclined to want to know what it is, right? Because let's say if he drops a bombshell, I don't believe him, but I want to know what it is. You know, it's a very good topic, man. That makes sense to want to hear it. Yeah, I want to hear it. Why can't we, like she said, why can't we have transparency? That way, if we go to war, we know what we're going to war for, right? We know we want to go to war as American citizens. I don't want my government deciding our wars. Honestly, I don't. I mean, somebody has to. I get that. But like, our citizens,
our organizations and these journalists have all partnered with Chinese state-run media outlets. I'm pretty sure Tucker said that they've reached out to Zelensky to try to interview him, but they haven't heard anything back. But you're so right. This narrative that they're opposed to peace talks,
he's already tried to interview
that you've
Zelensky.
seen, at least
That
in whether it's the Atlantic, CNN, you see op-eds all the time. And it's so interesting. One of the stories that we were working on at War Room, a lot of the refrain, that like anti-peace talk narrative, even there was an op-ed, the title was like, peace talks are, quote, counterproductive, which is just kind of an asinine take in my opinion. But a lot of those people, the authors behind it, you know, are luminaries. I always say they're like the impeachment witnesses of Trump's first impeachment, like the Brookings think tank types who, you know, the elites that we should trust. But they are all fellows and advisors at that U.S.-Ukraine Business Council, but they never disclose those conflicts of interest in those op-eds. So part of it, I think, is the ideological compromise. They really do believe that Ukraine is like, if we don't win, you know, Russia bad. But there also is a very clear financial interest there. And I just think it's interesting.
She looks way better than Frost. Yeah, I think so too. Now, I wanted to touch on it because the topic of being at war with Russia could very well be the issue right here. We could be very well at war with these countries and we not even know.
One of the greatest tweets ever in the history of Twitter. And it is here. Glenn Greenwald tweeted, "Who were the American journalists who conducted even minimally adversarial interviews with Zelensky?" To which Elon Musk responded, "To be fair, it's hard for them to talk while giving a blowjob at the same time."
What?
And that may be one of the greatest tweets ever made.
No fucking way, bro. What the fuck? Elon Musk getting involved, y'all. What the fuck is going on, man? Appreciate you, Kevin. I'm here for y'all, you guys. I'm just doing this because I thought maybe y'all would enjoy. He said, to be fair, it's hard for them to talk while giving a blowjob at the same time, bro. You got the owner of the social media site jumping on here and playing with these guys, bro. That is crazy. See, I'm with Elon, bro. I'm with Elon, bro. I'm with it. Look. We're already getting surveyed, right? We're already giving our every time you get a new phone, bro, you're not getting in that phone until you give them the email address you want everything from your shit to come to from the last phone. You're not doing it, right? You're not even getting a new phone without putting a new email address in it, period. It's going to be tied to something you do. So we've given up all, and I mean every bit of our freedoms. They're gone. Bye-bye. See you later. We're giving them away. So why not make it transparent? If they're going to do it to us, turn the fucking gun around and do it to them. The same technology. That's what Elon's doing, bro. He's making that Twitter shit transparent. Transparent, bro. On Twitter, if you post a video from 1999 and try to act like it was from yesterday, somebody can come in that comment section and say, that's a video from blah, 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 post it, and boom. And that stays on that video on your post until you delete it. You can't fraud when there's real smart people on the internet. And that's what people are getting away with. It's putting up fake content, propaganda. It causes problems. So when we open up that door to say, hey, you know what? You're watching us. It's time to watch you. It's time to start watching you. Don't get mad. And yeah, Crisis, super gangster comment.
And I just screenshotted it and I had to post it on X. But as much as all of us are laughing, and I'm sure some of you may be putting earmuffs on your kids and hoping you have to explain to them what that meant. We do have this from End Wokeness, a very pressing and important interview from CNN with Zelensky of Ukraine. I'd like to play for you now this very, very important interview.
As a human being, so many people look up to you. They rely on you. No one can imagine how hard that is. Do you do anything for yourself? Are you ever able to take a minute to read or to listen to music or something to sort of give yourself a moment?
I have such moments, important to be in silence, to be alone. And early in the morning, when there are no sounds, no people, nobody. I mean, the people, our staff. I mean, no.
Okay, well, clearly, I think they added the music to that one, but it is still funny.
Wow, I was like, the music. If the music is really on that, that's amazing.
Did they mess with the editing to like get the close-ups of her face looking sad? Because that is cringy.
Well, I think that's
fuck, bro.
Yeah, all that's an edit. Okay. The questions from Aaron Burnett. That is really what
appalled. CNN. This is appalling. Big Boy said all social media apps are harvesting user data. Facts. Google harvesting your data. Targeted ads and cookies are just the top of the iceberg. Oh, we give it all away, don't we? As soon as you pick that phone up, bub, we give it all away because we've already done it long ago. We started this process long ago. That's why everything, when you switch phones, you change your phone, you want every fucking thing from this phone to that phone, every fucking thing. And it all goes. It's just they're now starting to be able to compile it all a little better. It's amazing, isn't it? That we just given it up. All of our freedoms are gone.
She's asking. It is the least adversarial thing we have ever seen. And that is what they expect of you.
As a human being. That's what you call humanizing someone. So they're humanizing Zelensky. That's a tactic.
That's right.
And everyone looks up to him. So it's a very fair and even interview. I mean, I don't think I've ever looked up to Zelensky. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure who she's referencing.
I think
here.
you probably looked down.
Oh, wait. Regrets too.
Here we go.
Yep. Very true, bro. Salute to the chat box, man.
Zelensky reveals his favorite band. Look at that.
Three Dog Night.
Ukrainian. I'll just play it. I think I'm pretty.
If he likes Three Dog Night, I'm giving him a chance.
We got an ad, a birth control ad.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, CNN.
Thanks.
You got to pay your dues if you want to watch CNN. Okay.
If you pay extra and you're one of the rich ones, they won't force feed this birth control commercials down your throat.
What is that?
I don't know what it was. It might not be birth control.
It was Pfizer.
People look up to you. They rely on you. No one can imagine how hard that is. Do you do anything
Cringy, bro.
to yourself? Are you ever able to take a minute to to read or to listen
She's gonna
to
cry?
music or something to
She
sort of
looks
give
like she's going
yourself
through
that,
horrible.
a moment.
I have such moments important to be in silence, to be alone. Alone, how can I be alone? Alone, I can be with music, it's true, or with a book.
That's
And
so
early in the
cringy,
morning,
G.
when there are no sounds in
No air raid
or
sirens.
no people, nobody. I mean, the people, our staff. I mean,
Blah blah blah. I don't
nobody
care to
is
hear this.
busy.
Who's his favorite band? What is it? It says classic rock. Does he name
They
anything?
want to make you watch this video.
I hope Tucker asked Vladimir Putin the same exact question verbatim.
He's like, they've been selling our data.
That'd be the best.
No, right. Putin's gonna name a Russian
Taylor
band.
Swift.
This guy's gonna name an American band or like a
Yes,
European
way
band.
deep.
They're different
Way
people
deep.
completely.
It's such a psyop, even down to like what he's
Dude.
wearing, right? He always has to be ready
Right.
for
Dude,
battle.
my Blink camera data is insane, dude. On my Blink system, I imagine they're watching everything. They're watching all that shit, bro. It's crazy.
He never takes off this uniform, even though when he's traveling, he's nowhere near any battlefield. Like
I don't think he's ever anywhere near the battlefield.
that's true.
I think this guy is a TV character.
He is.
Yeah, I mean, he literally was. He played the president on TV. But I think I don't think this guy's ever seen anything close to conflict. They probably have him in a secure location because he's basically you guys have seen Hunger Games, right?
Yeah.
In the second one, when they get Katniss out, of the games, they're like, keep her in the basement and have her make videos. They don't want her going to war because if she dies, she's their propaganda tool. She's a rallying cry. That's what they're trying to do with this guy. I got to be honest. He's the least inspiring guy they could have gotten. I mean, seriously, couldn't they have gotten some like Dolph Lundgren's like type Ukrainian dude who's like filming propo videos on the
like
front
hot
line?
Ukrainian chick.
Is that I was gonna say which one was hidden?
Well, they tried that with a trans woman, and that was
Oh, yeah.
but it was to pander to the liberals and the left in the United States so they could ask for money.
I was say who was Hayden
dude.
Panettiere married to? She was married to a Ukrainian guy who was like, I'm going to the fields or whatever else. Like,
But
much better than Zelensky.
They need like a 6'5" ripped dude who's standing there, holding a weapon, being like,
Yeah,
"It's
I
the
know what you're
president.
talking about.
I will
Look at
make
this.
sure." And then they film fake videos where he's on the front line leading the troops. This is just some guy who's in a park all the time and he's like not doing anything.
Well, he walks around places that seem staged and well lit, looking sort of sad and pensive. And so, really, in that sense, he's doing exactly what they need him to.
Remember that video that came out where the background was
fucking walking
completely
around.
still and the trees
Sad
weren't
all the
moving in the
time,
wind?
dude. You gotta
and they
have
were
a-
like, people were like,
You're
"Yo, this looks like a
war,
green
dude.
screen."
You
And
should
they
be
were
walking around fucking top-notch war machine. You are the president of a country at war. You should not be up here. Fuck is you talking about here? Gosh.
No, it's not. It's not a green screen. What are you talking about?
You don't understand Ukraine. In our culture, our trees don't move in the wind.
The wind
There
is
no
different.
wind.
Yeah.
Russia has stolen our wind.
The trees can't blow because they're mad at Russia. That's the state of the world.
They're still in protest for the things that we're suffering. Like, it just becomes so ridiculous. And I think you're right. The amount of money that we're spending on Ukraine, considering this is what they're
could've
doing, which is
fucking
just to
solved
sort of take a.
homelessness by
He has
now,
gone on
guys.
so many international
We could have
trips, being like,
solved
please,
homelessness
money.
by now, right?
He's like a professional fundraiser for his country.
Let me talk with the chat box. The irony of what they're saying is that CNN is biased, but their commentary is biased too. Yeah, you're right. They are ragging on CNN. Yep. He says he's a liberal though. He points himself out. You know what I mean? So he's not hiding it. I get that. That's crazy though. Me too. Me too, Kevin. I feel you. Yeah. I think we need to just, everyone can say rid the mainstream media, but how is that done? I mean,
And it seems crazy that when Tucker Carlson is like, well, I want to talk to the other side, everyone's like, how could you do this? Possible sanctions, like, hysterics.
I just had an idea for something I would love to make if we had the means. And it's like, you take that scene and then halfway through, you just zoom in on Zelensky and Aaron Burnett and you play like slowly increasing romantic music with no dialogue, and they're just looking at each other, and then it escalates.
There were some romantic undertones.
Right, but then you have the Dolph Lundgren style guy, and you will film a different scene where he comes in and goes, "Zelensky, get away from her. She's mine."
Or it's Putin.
He comes in.
It is
He's like,
about the agenda, right? It's about the agenda because you can tell it's an agenda because they have a narrative behind it. They have this narrative that they're all trying to push. Every time. Every single time, man. What's popping, G?
Yo, what's good? You hear me?
Oh, hey, buddy.
Shit, just typing in. I seen y'all was live.
Hey, buddy.
Fire.
Hey, D.
You drinking, buddy?
Low key.
You drinking?
Huh?
You drinking? What you mean, huh? Are you drinking?
Shut up. He was talking to me. You cut him off.
You drinking?
Yeah.
What did you say, Blackout?
All right, cheers to you, buddy.
Cheers to you too. How was your birthday? You ain't hear my birthday shout out I gave you?
I'm probably not right now. I'm drunk. I'm a little.
Oh, okay.
He just wanted to be up
here. What type of time you on, pimp?
I'm feeling nice, man. Happy to see you. What's up, man?
Oh, you real nice. Hey, D, what we doing? Hey, anyways, yeah, this shit weird. I mean, you got Tucker
With the Tucker Carlson thing?
Yeah, that's.
What do you think? What do you
viral.
think? Give me your honest opinion.
I like it.
Do you think that he's going to say something?
I don't think he did anything crazy. I just think he just picked his brain. And as journalists, ain't that your job?
Yeah, don't we have a right?
Yeah, I mean, freedom of press, freedom
of press.
We had multiple people did interviews with communist leaders, like Trump talked to Xi, and then people talked to
hasn't he talked to Putin? Had him at the White House and shit, ain't he?
Yeah, no, not at the. I don't think at the White House, but he's been proactive on meeting with the so-called enemies, shaking their hands, and he makes sure he does it. They always say he got a firm, weird handshake where he's staring at the camera like, yeah, I did that,
and he didn't have to do that. He wanted to do that.
Yeah,
and earlier,
here's the thing. I think people are blowing up this Tucker Carlson interview, man. Like, who knows? Who thinks that Tucker went in there and tried to gaslight fucking Putin, bro?
Of course not. He in his country. He will be what?
Yeah.
There for a weeping. Imagine a spy.
Earlier,
oh, you a spy?
A journalist, and that's something that he wants to do. Now, I don't think it was a want. I think he has to. That's his job.
No, it was a want. He didn't have to.
He tried to do it about 4 years ago. And the White House or the NSA hacked his emails. And he said he met with somebody in Congress. Or no, he said he met with a high-powered official. And they told him. He said he didn't even tell his wife. And they was like, do you plan on meeting with Putin?
Yeah.
And he was like, wait, how the fuck you know that? And he like, nah. It's done.
Yeah, he cut it off.
Yeah. He said it on another Boys podcast. You know what I mean? He talked about that.
He tried to meet with the leader of Ukraine too, so he's not trying to be biased here.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's propaganda. If anything, Tucker will get mind fucked, not the other way around. That's what I'm thinking too, man. Like he's led that country for a long time.
Yeah, and
so there ain't no way Tucker will go in there and mind fuck him.
No, he just wants to put his story out because we keep getting like, damn, I just had this perfect quote I wanted you to answer.
He might be wanting to give transparency to the American people.
Exactly. Because
just a little bit of right?
Our taxpaying dollars are funding Ukraine and that bum ass border we got.
And what's this kill list?
That's just something that Ukraine. Well, they got Tucker on like a list of Ukraine has like a list of counter-terrorism people or whatever, and
and Tucker's on there.
Yes, bro, because he's going over.
All right. So fuck them.
Yep.
Fuck them.
And they put him on that list, and they call it a kill list because almost everybody that's been on that list has been found dead.
No, fuck them. If they playing games like that, fuck them.
How we know if that's true? True.
That's what they're on here saying. Yeah, they went through it. They went through it at the beginning of the show. He's
let me
on a
say this.
website, bro. There's a whole website for it.
If this is true, fuck them. Because our tax dollars, just when you at work, AD, when you do your third shift thing, when I'm cooking,
yeah,
we pay for this bullshit. And
fuck
now
every month, dude, there's a bit. Every month, there's billions of dollars that flow to Ukraine.
Bro, if they're saying fuck American journalists because they're just being objective, then fuck you.
Yeah. And what's your thoughts on it being so called that, you know, America unilaterally has us in a war with Russia without us even knowing, without us even knowing, bro?
Well, it's a distraction because we're in a war. We're like that Ukraine shit. All right, cool. We're in a war with the Jews and the Muslims. And that's the shit they don't want to speak about. So Tucker Carlson, he just blessed the media game because you see it got slow on the Gaza Strip. They don't report on the Gaza, what's going on between the Israelis and the Muslims.
Yeah, it's slowed up quite a bit. Both of them have.
And then Tucker come, boom. Nobody don't even talk about that. We're talking about Ukraine. If Zelensky feels that Tucker is a person of interest, a POI, or if he is like enemy vibes, well, fuck him. I ain't agree with it in the first place.
The money that we, like you said, the taxpayers.
Hold on, brother. Let me get this up. My
Go ahead,
point
bro.
is, we Americans, I don't care where the fuck you came from. If you was born here, you here. Now, if you want to migrate back to your country, go back. Nobody ain't stopping you. And I go through this shit with Jamaicans a lot. And I talk my shit and I say that shit to their face. You love your country so fucking much, go home. I love it here. I'm here. I'm born here. I'm raised here. If you want to go back to your fucking country, leave. Nobody's going to miss you.
I agree.
We're Americans. I ain't black. I ain't white. I ain't non-binary. All that weird shit you're trying to push to the kids. I ain't with none of that shit. Yep. We here and we gonna deal with it.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's just me, and that's my thought.
I think our tax-paying dollars, the money that we have worked on,
we're funding AD. We're funding a war we don't know shit about. And then once a journalist tries to go out there to talk to the leader of the aggressor, they try to shut it down.
Yeah, this money, we could have ended homelessness with the money we've sent to Ukraine. we could have ended homelessness, man.
But AD, you got kid. I think you have one kid that's like up around 18. You might have
two of them. Yep.
Would you send your kid into that war knowing the bullshit they doing?
Fuck no. I didn't even want my kids to go to the military. My son thought about it and I said, hell no. No.
That's the same AD. My mother said the same shit. I ain't want to go to college. I was a cook already. And I said, yo, I'm going to just sign up for the Army. She said, no, you was not doing that.
It's a good way to get an education. I'll give people that. But right now is not a good time to join the military, man. You fight wars you shouldn't even be in.
And that's just me. Crisis, what's going on, baby?
The price of real estate just went up.
That's a fact.
We got two chefs, we got two content creators, and we got a future photographer in this motherfucker now.
Yeah, we going up.
Hey, so everything that Blackout just said, shout out to you, Blackout. Everything he just said, 100% accurate. The reason why this bill was rejected had nothing to do with the border. Is AD had broke it down, I think, in the last live, where only 20 million or 20 billion, whatever, was going to actually go towards the border, and more than like 98 billion was going to be.
Yeah, it was an $80 billion deal, and 20 of it was going to the border.
Right. So
that's crazy, bro.
Here's what's wild though, right? And I know that people say that they, and they're right when they say this. All bills have what they call pork in it. That's what they refer to it as. However, that wasn't always the case in the U.S. It used to be one bill for one action.
Hey, Crisis, one quick second. Kevin Jones, he put some good shit in there, and I don't know I'm kind of confused because he said funding the youth. I don't know what he means by that.
Ukraine.
But okay. But we don't know. And Crisis, go ahead, keep cooking. But I just wanted to tell him, brother, yeah, you're right. We don't know shit. That's why Tucker Carlson going to these countries, interviewing the leader, not the people in the army, the person that tells them what to do. That's why we need media.
That's fucking a banger of an interview, bro. I guarantee it, dude.
It's going viral.
Blackout, to your point, what they tend to do with some of these bills is they'll wait until like the last possible minute to submit the bill.
Of course, that's what they always do.
So that
they play chicken.
So that the actual Congress members don't have enough time to read over all of it.
Yep. Or they don't show up. If they don't show up, it automatically passes for them.
Right.
It's fucking dirtbaggy, bro.
Right.
When I learned that about Congress, when I started getting into like the vaping laws and shit, they're dirty, dude. Half this shit.
Bro, or the internet connection just rarely the internet connection went out, but it's 1 minute left.
Yeah, you're right. So they don't read through the thousands of pages.
Exactly.
Yeah, the bill that went up to block like certain restrictions in like mail vaping, sending shit through the mail and all this, that went into one of the first COVID bills, bro. It was like a major COVID bill for all these people to get money, and they slid that bitch in on like page 3,000 and something.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They slid that bitch right in, and nobody cared at all.
Yeah. And the way that they do this shit, so they'll also put in shit that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So for example, they'll put in something like, $2 billion for,
fish wildlife shit.
Fish in the Gulf of Mexico or some bullshit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Because they know that money isn't really going to
paying attention.
Exactly.
It's because they're greasing the small guy too. You know what I mean? Well, these guys have been needing money for a long, long time. Let's go ahead and grease those little bitty fellers over there, and then take care of all this. It looks like you're doing good for people.
Back in the day, when you watch, like, I think where I'm at in Connecticut, it was Channel 5. That was like the neighborhood, like, public assets channel, and they will have they will show the Congress meetings or whatever, just the town meetings or whatever.
Oh, like sort of like
it'll be like, exactly. So it'd be like, $2 million go to fishing, or water deprivation. They're
like
in the
to clean the streams and ponds of Connecticut.
but AD, keep the fly shit, right? They do that shit up front because Crisis. If me and you watching that, we like, oh shit, C-SPAN cracking. They talking about our town. Let's watch. Once they talking about $2 million to protect fish that we fishing for. You're like, what the fuck are we talking about? Change the channel. As soon as we change the channel, that's when they get on that real good shit.
Yeah, that's when they get to the real shit. Nah, that's a fact, brother. That's a fact. That is.
I think though, we should be using the same technology they get us under the balls with is what we should be using to get them under the balls. Transparency across the board, except for when it comes to war. I understand, like
we're
some
doing
shit
it now. We're doing it now, AD.
Yeah,
you can't hide nothing.
We need more
Information is free. We don't need encyclopedias. We got Google.
But what if we didn't have it? What if we didn't have it, bro? What if we didn't have an X?
I want to put this out to all of y'all. So check this out. There's a speech that JFK gave a long time ago, where he talked about the importance of a free from restriction media. You know what I mean? Actually, to tell you the truth, AD, if you're able to find that speech, I would like for you to actually play it. And the reason why I say that is because he knew even in his time that the media was controlled. But here's the crazy thing. The time period that he's referring to wasn't for then. He was referring to now. Because now with social media and with the internet and with all of these different platforms that we have the ability, people like yourself, people like Blackout, everybody who has their own platform, they are the new journalists.
Damn.
They are the new media. They are the new newspaper.
You know what that says? That says that, damn, the people in the future that's gonna be, the higher ups, you can't trust them. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's a fact. And it's only because
why? Wait, hold on. why is it crazy that we can't trust people that's on top? Just that's what they do. That's what
we've given them too much power, bro. They've gotten too much power from us.
But we, of course, but when are we gonna stop it?
I think it's out of hand.
Like everybody keep admitting the obvious. Yeah, of course they got power. When are we gonna stop it though?
Hey, look, Blackout. Here's a problem. What do they say? They say that hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create soft men. Hold up, AD. So it's like, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. So
that's a fact.
What that whole quote basically means is that people become complacent, and this is exactly what Benjamin Franklin and them were warning against when they were saying stuff like an individual who sacrifices freedom for liberties for security doesn't deserve either. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, liberty is not something that we don't fight for. You know what I mean? We have to fight for liberty all the time.
Hey, AD, my shit keeps saying a stream error. This comment has failed to post. Am I blocked or what the
and Kevin Jones?
No, you're not blocked.
You can see my comment?
In the back?
I'm saying you can see my in the regular chat. Can you see my
Detroit, that's a fact. Detroit.
I just wanted to tell Primo thanks because he said salute to the stream. We're real informative.
Oh no, yeah. I don't see it though. That's weird. Thanks. I'm trying to look through here.
It's like red. It says this comment has failed to post it. Aggressive performance.
I know you just went out and I had to bring back you in.
Yeah, I refreshed it to do it again because shit was tripping.
But you up here now though, Blackout. I only came up. I only came up here today. I only came up here tonight because I've seen you up here. Because I know that we not for real because no, it's not about it being your program, but the thing is like I know that like a lot of times if it's just me and AD bouncing off of each other with political shit, you know what I mean? I love it because like Just will come in with the questions that the audience might also have, but at the same time, I don't want to be dominating the conversation, and I know you know a lot about this shit too.
Yeah, Crisis, so you do be doing that, bro.
I know.
I can hear you.
Nah, I know, bro. I know, and that's why I'm like, Blackouts up here. That's the black.
No. Hold on. Let's slow down. You do it in good faith. You don't.
Oh yeah, he's not a bad guy.
You just curious, and you just said. We used to do this shit on Clubhouse. AD, when I told you we ran Jack off of Clubhouse, Crisis is one of my crimies. I used to come out the spot. I'm on the back porch. So we on Clubhouse all day, kicking shit. He got the edibles popping. I already know Crisis. So when I hear you up there, I just smile. And then when I hear you, like, the conversation, like, you just be flowing, I'm like, just be smiling. I'm like, huh?
That's what this is for, bro. This is the conversation. That's what these convos are for, bro.
Yo, like, bro, I'm AD. I ain't gonna cap. I be sitting here staring at your face. Will he be flowing? Hey, you know
the funny part is, bro.
But like,
somebody said that, like, when are we ever going to get this done? When can we take back the power? When can we stop all this? I think
I hate that because
it's when people get tired.
We've been asking the same shit. What are we gonna do?
The thing is, Blackout, is that people like how somebody will say that they're mad or they're fed up, but yet they'll still go back to the same job. They'll still do the same shit. Of course,
bro. We do the same shit with women. Our women are priceless. So you did some bullshit like Just. Like, come on, Just. We go through this shit all the time. Go ahead.
I posted that as a status yesterday. I put on on your story. I posted a video. I said that. I said I'm tired of people complaining about things that they allowed to happen. Keep allowing.
Here's the problem. Here's the thing. Here's my answer. Like, when can we get it done? I'm sorry, Just go ahead.
If you want to keep doing something, they're gonna keep doing it. As long as you keep allowing them to do it, they're gonna feel comfortable to fucking do it.
That's right. When do we fucking fight back and take back what's ours as a country? I think we're not there yet.
Hold on.
It starts with the little problems
first. Just hold on. I think we're mixing up two things.
Yeah, we are.
We got personal, and then we got country-wise.
Yes.
So, AD, what you're talking about is country, just
country-wise, as Americans, as a population, as a people.
Yeah, what Just is talking about is like more personal. Like, when did you stop letting people take advantage of you.
Right. That's what he's on.
And
Right?
that's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say that people are not really. They haven't reached the precipice yet. Once they reach
Well,
that
I don't think
precipice,
there's enough of us as well either.
no, it doesn't take a lot. You know how many people?
No, fuck it, don't.
No, you know how many people?
Because
You
you're
know how
going to
many?
get the left and the right basically clashing, right?
But
That's
but
what you're going
AD,
to get. People with
you know-
different values.
Do you know how many people actually took part in the Revolutionary War, in terms of the people who fought as opposed to the amount of the population? It wasn't
but
even.
we
It
can't
wasn't even
put those against
30%.
what we do today because everything is way different.
No, what I'm saying is that you don't need a majority to fight. What you just need is you need at least 30% to understand that.
Yes,
okay,
because you're
this
going to
is-
gain some along the way, right? You're going to get some
Right.
to shift sides.
Right. So at the end of the day, just keep doing this type of shit that you're doing. Like I said, I got excited when I seen Blackout up here because I'm like, yo, I know he know his shit too. You know what I mean? You see, he already dropping super facts on shit. You got D-Trail in the audience. You got mad people who know. They know this shit.
We can't quit our jobs and just take to the streets. We'd lose our livelihoods. We would lose our families. You know what I mean?
And
like
you know
that's where the gap breaks, man. When we have to do that, that's when we have to do that.
So you know what though?
And you got to rebuild this economy.
So AD, if you remember, I told you the story of when my cousin got killed by the police way back in 2001. And when I try to organize an economic boycott in DC, and people were like, "Man, if you're gonna do that, why don't you do it like on a Saturday?" And I'm like, "On a Saturday? What the fuck kind of sense does that make? That made no sense." Now, fast forward a couple years, right? There was an issue at that time with the Latino workers. And the whole this is when they were first beginning to touch on immigration status way back then. You know that they all organized and decided not to come to work for 2 days. And after that, guess what happened? All of their demands were met.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they weren't afraid to lose it all.
Kevin Jones said too, it doesn't take a lot. We just need free thinkers, more free thinkers with new ideas. That's a fact. I mean, we need more people like Elon Musk. I agree, man.
That was the most gangster comment ever.
Bro, I wasn't on Elon at all at first, bro. I didn't know what to think of Elon, man, but I'm really starting to come around about that guy, bro. He's making very big decisions for our world.
He said
not just our world.
He said it's hard for you to speak and SMD at the same time. Pause. Like that was the most gangster comment of 2000.
And he's the owner of this shit, bro. When do you see shit like that?
Man, listen.
That just tells you right there where the free speech is.
Yo, that was the illest shit ever, yo.
That's where your free speech lies, man. We have to, if we don't, where are we at if we don't have an X and we don't have Tucker Carlson, people that are willing to go do the free speech things? Where are we at as a country then? We're fucked.
Yeah. And now we have alternatives. We have other options.
Right. Go ahead. What'd you say?
So we have other options now. We have Rumble. Rumble is an alternative to YouTube.
Yeah, but Rumble's very, very like
it's free
more
speech.
Like it's very like free speech, but it's like political. It's
definitely. It's definitely political. But there's a new side of Rumble that's beginning to
there's starting to be more people go over there.
You know what I mean? But it's like you have Rumble. I don't know if you've ever dabbled with Truth Social.
Kick's pretty open.
Truth Social is like the alternative to Facebook.
Yeah, it's like a front end of Facebook, but it's like for like that's Donald Trump shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's the one that started that. Yeah,
he started that shit. They're trying to take that off the Play Store.
This is something Americans should pay attention to.
Well, it's because we're at war. Like if Tucker Carlson interviewed, like, I don't know, the president of Tajikistan or something, or what, I don't even know if they have a president. Nobody would care. They'd be like, whatever.
True.
But Tucker Carlson interviewed Vladimir Putin, and we were at war with Russia, so naturally they're freaking out.
I want to know why. I still want to know why we're still at war. So was it to diminish Russia's power, or is it to take control of the region? Is it both? Both things?
Well, it's both.
Like, is it really like to full military global dominance right now? Because they're trying to do this new world order thing where they have all of us kind of technocratically bow to our overlord.
Look at the
like,
panel, y'all. We are loading up over here, y'all. Salute to the chat, man. Share the live, man. Let them know that we are live. Share the live, bro.
Hey, Blackout, do you remember when Christiane Amanpour went and interviewed Muammar Gaddafi in the middle of us
interview,
and it's in the middle of us actually bombing his country and having the rebels. Yeah. So why is this any different?
And it's not even dropped yet. The fucking video, this interview hasn't even came out yet, and people are freaking the fuck out. That's what I don't get.
It's because you know why though, right? Because Ukraine allegedly, because we have to say allegedly, Ukraine allegedly was the home of a lot of these biolabs that they were originally using. You know what I mean? That the
Russia to
deep
go
state
along.
was using.
Yeah.
Along with it. I don't understand why they're making them fight.
Russia's it could be that it's all fake conflict. I don't know.
I also just think it's such a double standard. I know I make everything about China. That's the war room rubbing off on me. But you know, it is really hypocritical. What was it, just 1 or 2 months ago that, you know, you have Xi Jinping, right, coming to San Francisco, getting the red carpet rolled out for him.
Okay.
And I think you make the point precisely. It's like we're basically at war, right? Russia, Ukraine. That's why it's that's why it's not okay for Tucker to interview Putin. So then China's obviously at war with us. Yeah, it's not necessarily kinetic. It's more of the unrestricted warfare type, certainly information warfare. So then why is it okay to have Xi Jinping on American soil and roll out the red carpet for him and have media outlets interview him and have them take cash from Chinese Communist Party? It's such a double standard, and it goes back to the original premise, which is that it's all about
but we're not making any money. Our country's falling.
Perhaps what will happen
we're at so much war,
November,
but our country's
Donald Trump
falling.
wins. But in the meantime, let's jump to this very hilarious story from NBC News. Nikki Haley loses to none of these candidates in the Nevada GOP primary. That's right. Nikki Haley was running in the primary. She took it very, very seriously. She did. Wait till you see the clip we're going to play from an interview. And she lost to none. That's right. She lost to no one. Quite literally, like no one beat her. No. Like, quote, no one, end quote, beat her. Like when people were given the choice between Nikki Haley and someone else, anybody, please, not her. Somebody, anybody, please, not her. Won.
Wow.
And so it's been an excellent day of memes. Andrew Clavin said, don't make fun of her for losing to none of these candidates. None of these candidates ran a great campaign, and none of these candidates is qualified to be the president of the United States. Very clever. But
can you pause it?
Where's that? Here we go. Let me play this.
That was
for you, so you can hear it for yourself what she had to say.
Does that situation in Nevada hurt a little bit?
No, I mean, Nevada, it's such a scam. They were supposed to have a primary. Trump rigged it so that the GOP
Hold on, does she go to fucking jail now too?
Bro,
see what I mean?
The reason why I asked you to
go to jail now too?
The reason why I asked you to pause it though is because that was one of the only states that successfully removed Trump from the ballot. So once they removed Trump from the ballot, all the other candidates have already dropped out.
Yes, they left.
So that means that on the ballot you can either vote for her. No, you could either vote for her or say that none of the candidates available is what they're basically referring to. And she lost by like 30 something points to none of the candidates available because of the fact that Trump wasn't on that ballot.
Nobody.
That's fucking bad, bro.
Bro, this is a whole fucking movie that
right
we're watching.
there, dude. That tells you right there. If they don't vote in Donald Trump, something's fucking up, buddy.
They playing games.
Yes. And that's when we should rise up, right? That's the first time I'm not allegedly. I'm not even calling for that. Because you know they'll take me down.
You play with a lot of things. But when you start playing with fucking people's rights,
in elections, and you know, here's the problem, man. I'm just a commentator. I'm just commentating. I'm not passing any you know, telling you how to vote. None of that. No. I want everyone to vote, but make sure you tell people you voted and who you voted for. That means you voted, and that means someone else heard you voted, and they know who you voted for too. That's the best way to curb this, I think. I think everyone needs to know, like if you voted for Biden, everyone knows you voted for Biden. Okay, so he's got one there. It just sticks in your brain. Like,
no, you're right.
Been indicted would go and create a caucus. We knew months ago that we weren't going to spend a day or a dollar in Nevada because it wasn't worth it. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't even count Nevada. That wasn't anything we were looking at. We knew that was rigged.
Oh, it was rigged.
from the start.
It was rigged from the start. Trump rigged it. She's an election denier.
See what I mean? Why don't she go to jail? They want to throw Trump in prison
for denying the elections, right? So
yes,
just this is specifically for you, bro, because the rest of us on the panel right now, we all a little bit older. I want you to remember this time. I want you to remember this time in history, because your grandchildren are gonna ask you about this specific period in history, and you're gonna be able to tell them that you were alive when this happened.
And you'll be able to hit them with the truth with it.
Right. I want you to tell them the reality of what you witnessed during this time, that they tried to remove a presidential candidate from the ballot. And even when they tried to remove him, he still kept winning the caucuses.
I just love this so much because she's like, it's quite like we should stop saying sour grapes and start saying Nikki losing in Nevada, because she's just like, I didn't want to win the primary anyway. Like, who cares? It was rigged. It was so dumb. Like, we didn't want it.
It is actually dumb because she took it seriously enough to register to be on the ballot, despite the fact that the RNC is awarding based off the caucus, which is tomorrow. Like, she is now saying, I know I'm going to lose in the caucus in Nevada. So she's getting out ahead of the message of like, well, not only did you lose to literally no one, you also lost to Trump. She's saying it never mattered, which how could you like her if you're a Nevada voter?
But you know that if she did get first place and none of these candidates didn't make a mark, she'd be saying, look, that's Trump's fault. I won the primary. Those delegates are mine, blah, blah, blah. Instead, you lose.
Yeah.
Is it
and
zero?
he rigged it. He rigged it.
Yeah, he rigged it.
He rigged it, bro.
She said it twice, I think.
She did. She did. She probably said it more. I only stopped the video 26 seconds in.
Is Nevada 0 delegates? Is that what I was reading?
No. It's 0?
I thought it said it had 0 delegates.
For the primary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the caucus, they're doing a caucus to award. I think, what is it? What is that? It's because they want to remove his name from the ballot or something, or what? That's why they moved to a caucus.
Yeah, I mean, so Nevada's weird because they tried really hard to say, like in 2021, they passed this law saying we are actually the state that gets to hold the First of the Nation caucus or First of the Nation primary. And they had been, from what I understand, a caucus system beforehand. And this is all leading into the time where the Democratic National Party spent a lot of time saying, actually, we want to rework the entire schedule. We don't want Iowa and New Hampshire to go first. We don't think it represents the voter base, basically saying they're not diverse enough states. And so they want to lead with South Carolina and Nevada and go into a different schedule. And so you're seeing this year Republicans having races in some states, and sometimes they're held at the same time as Democrats and other times they're not. So like the South Carolina primary for the Democrats was February 3rd, but the South Carolina primary for the Republicans is, I think it's February 26th, it's right at the end of the month. So because their parties are operating differently, just like, so the Republicans saying, well, even though you have now passed a state law saying you have to have a primary, we are still having the caucus and that's what we're awarding, is very similar to what the Democrats did in New Hampshire, which is to say, even though it's state law there.
I don't.
Okay,
I support
74% majority of Republican voters say they support the idea of former President Donald Trump being a dictator for a day if he is rejected. What?
Trump using his legal authority, which he already has and doesn't need to be a dictator, to start getting rid of the corruption.
Yeah.
I want evidence. I want criminal trials and start deciding who should and shouldn't be. I want the public to see the evidence. I want it to be historic. I want it to be documented. I want there to be a book, a Wikipedia entry talking all about all of the evidence that was uncovered and how Donald Trump got an AG in there and cleaned this place up.
I like the hysteria around the Donald Trump dictator for a day comment, because it's like they're just hooked on cartoons and they're expecting
what is the
to be
attorney
like,
general
my
for?
plan
What is the attorney general for, guys? Is he like the main guy that's going to get rid of people? What, like,
which attorney general are you referring to?
The country's attorney general.
Yeah. Okay, so the country's attorney general isn't the one that controls the local caucuses and elections.
So he's able to go in there and get.
Is not the one. They're not the one that controls that, is what I'm saying.
So who is the one that's going to who's going to shut down people? Who's going to fire people? That would be him. Well, he is the attorney. He's the Office of Attorney General's Department of Justice lead. So I guess so. and he's the Department of Justice and Executive Department of Government in the United States of America. So he is probably the top of all the judges, I guess. Right. He would be the one to get the party started, to start firing some of these deep state people. Huh.
I'm a dictator. Like, you think someone who actually wants to be a dictator leads with, I'm going to be a dictator?
Well, but to be fair, it's the distinction between cartoons for 10-year-olds and cartoons for 5-year-olds and cartoons for 10-year-olds. The cartoons for 10-year-olds are a little bit more sophisticated than that. Like I mentioned this before. It's a great line from Justice League where Lex Luthor, the supervillain, is running for president. And when one of the Justice League confronts him,
it's on the cigarette packs.
Luther,
the Attorney General of like there's certain things. Like there's different attorney generals. I was seeing like, what is the Attorney General of Indiana? Blah, 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 blah. I think like there's a FDA too. Like I'm pretty sure. I mean, don't quote me on that one. I'm learning.
Says,
guys.
Do you have any idea how much?
Quote me as being like an expert on any of this, man, because I'm learning as well. I didn't get into politics heavy until COVID. I just started seeing things that. I mean, I always followed politics. I always knew that there was, things going on and all that shit. I never followed them heavy until around the beginning of COVID.
Power I would have to give up in order to be president.
Highest judge
it's like
in the
even
land.
10-year-olds understand the context there. And these people are thinking like it's like they're 5 and the villain's like, I'm going to freeze the earth. Yeah.
Yeah, Snidely Whiplash. You guys ever watch that?
No, what's that?
It was Rocky and Bullwinkle. That's some pretty basic stuff. It was right in your face. Snidely was like the guy who was like,
did he say, I'm going to be a dictator?
He was always like the villain. He's twirling his mustache.
Yeah,
literally.
I
gotta tell you, because this, I was telling the story all week about this guy I met in DC.
He would take the trains and shit, wouldn't he? He'd be like, he would take trains. Like, wasn't he the train robber or some shit?
Quite literally told me,
Rocky and Bull.
Just you wait. When Donald Trump gets elected, you will lose all your rights.
The train. Let's go save the train.
I'm like, bro,
they're concerned. Projection. It's projection, though.
Totally.
I think Joe Biden is, cliche, but the true dictator, you look at whether it's the weaponization of the DOJ, the lawfare, the way that they're conducting global affairs, it's clearly just projection. And I think the old way that they did the projection playbook was sort of the Russia, like foreign collusion, because obviously the Democratic Party and
you guys remember that
they're always colluding with.
You guys remember that? What if he's over and what if Tucker Carlson says, so were you colluding with Donald Trump?
Foreign governments, but I think they know the Russia trope is sort of used up. I think you used to see the Black Lives Matter stuff always pop up right before elections, right? That's I think they realized the ad hominem racist attacks don't work as much anymore. And now I think they're really going down. They have 2, I would say, concurrent strategies. One is democracy is going to die in darkness and Trump is a dictator. Oh, even, appeal to the neocons, we must preserve our way of life. But I also think the sort of other route that they're going down is, I don't know. I think it's really just I don't know. It's just always projection, and
it is.
It's I don't know. It's just the same. It's like you could do that with every story.
I kind of think we're headed towards a wartime presidency, as many people try to refer to it. I don't know what to do. I don't know how you solve this problem, but a bifurcated culture, a postmodernist, and a traditional American republicanist world that can't coexist. And so I don't think it's a matter of what anyone wants to happen.
What's up, Don?
It doesn't matter if you want Trump to be a dictator or not.
There will come. Mundo is on the stage too, y'all. What's up, Don? What's up, DMW? Salute to DMW. Anybody else want that link, man? Come on up, man.
It's already
we having a good topic. I got 2 hours left. I got to leave for work.
It's already there. It's pinned. You don't need to drop it again.
Oh, point where there is no question.
I'm stupid.
You're not allowed to ask. Trump will not decide. It will just be in front of you. When you face down with far leftists trying to seize territory in cities like they did in 2020, shooting and killing people.
We're talking about how this Tucker Carlson and Vladimir Putin interviews got the world shook up. Should he be? And how the EU is trying to sanction Tucker Carlson for going to talk to fucking Vladimir. We're talking free speech.
Eventually, you get to the point where you're then we have to have armed guards and creating checkpoints. It's not a question of I would like or I would not like. When the far left, if the far left violence exceeds a certain degree, there will be a response. And then
is armed guards at the border a wrong thing to have? I don't think so. Checkpoints,
walk down the street and you're going to have National Guard and they're going to be like, you need an ID and you're whatever. And you're going to be like, this is dictatorship. And they're going to be like, okay, if we leave, the far leftists will come in with their guns again. Yeah. And then what do you do?
I also
create a
think
republic.
It's like, what is it? The like thesis, antithesis, synthesis, whatever that is. It's like, I think the reason why, I think there is some truth to this poll in the sense that Joe Biden is such a weak man. Trump is such a strong man. And I think when you look around the country and you see particularly what's going on at the southern border, I mean, I think you make a valid case for wanting a strong leader who's actually going to protect national sovereignty. And I think in some ways it sort of reflects that longing, that yearning for like America to be a country again with a leader, with a government that actually does something to fight for the people. And it's not all totally decentralized and sent out to all these like swampy bureaucratic agencies. Like I think from a social perspective, the desire for a dictator, there is something interesting there in terms of how it interplays with, I think, a lot of the critiques we hear of like decentralizing and deconstructing the administrative state, right? Because that really is the way of diffusing power to unelected bureaucrats. And I don't know about you, I personally would rather have dictator Trump than President Trump compounded with.
I think Tucker said he wasn't going to be the vice president. I think he come out and said it.
Yeah, he did. He came out. He did. He came out and said it.
Yeah.
Like bureaucrat, overlord Fauci and Milley.
And that's probably
our best bet.
When it comes to this question, people are probably saying there is too much corruption in DC. It is a swamp, and you need someone to just go in and drain it.
It's if you don't know how to solve the problem, you may lash out at stupid solutions because you just want to get this problem over with. Like if the problem is deep state corruption, that's a big problem. How do you solve it? Well, a lot of people are like, I don't know. Best thing I can think of is some guy goes in and does it. But like there's ways to do it, technical ways to do it. You just got to have controlled power sources. Right, big boy? You got to have control of mass media, like airwaves, radio waves and stuff like that. You have satellites, one of them, you can kind of maintain open systems where information can be traded, behaviors can become transparent. And then I think the system kind of solves itself.
I think part of why people who support
like free
Trump
thinking
understood
women
that
too,
the dictator
man.
comment was more about I'm going to take action.
I really enjoy women that can think on their own. Have a stand. You know what I mean? Can stand on their own. I don't want a pussy ass woman. I gotta like hold up all the time.
Immediately is because they're tired of the way the Biden administration does implement authoritarian culture while pretending they're for you. They're pretending they're for democracy. And I think the idea that someone would be direct and be like, yes, on the first day, I'm immediately going to do these things is refreshing. It's appealing. Like you're saying, it's an appeal to strength. And I think Biden is notoriously unpopular and he doesn't have the approval ratings that really, I think, would predict an easy win to re-election. And so ultimately Trump, by just being direct, saying these are the problems you're facing, and I'm going to fix them. And if I have to be, if I have to make that my number one priority from day one, I will do that for you. Makes people feel like they can trust him to change. Whereas the Biden administration is sort of always saying a lot of things and doing nothing. I mean, right? To talk about the border, they initially, with all of the razor wire stuff, said you have to pull the razor wire out because it's inhumane and people will drown. And they're like, that's why I put it. Texas says that's why I put it there because we don't want people to swim across the river. It's dangerous. At which point the Biden administration said, actually, you needed our approval for that. And that's why you have to take it out. I mean, the Biden administration is ultimately trying to keep the borders open and they want there to be a flow of illegal immigration into the country, but they won't just say that. And so that fact that someone would be like, yes, I would be a dictator to change, to turn the ship, to make things right. I think freaks out people who know ultimately Trump has the same values as them and wouldn't be a dictator, as opposed to someone who is constantly saying, no, I have your values, but I'm lying to you constantly and doing one thing, claiming to be doing another.
Yeah, they because if you say I'm not a dictator, but you're signing executive orders over and over and over, then you are a dictator and you're lying to people.
Yeah, I'm not a dictator, but you all have to wear masks. I'm not a dictator, but you have to leave the military if you don't get the vaccination. I'm not a dictator, but I'm going to fight the state's rights to defend itself until I.
Shout out to Big Boy, man, with the 555 drop, man. He said, great topic, bro. Look at that. There you go. A fucking chat when we're not, a donation when we're not talking about Frost.
Look, the last president to leave office and not look 10 years older than when he got in office is actually Donald Trump.
Yeah, he looks a little better, don't he?
You know what I mean? And maybe that tells you what happens when you go in the office with a clear conscience.
Yeah, no shit. I think this could be a redo for Trump.
You know,
I
and
honestly
left to the
do.
point
Thank you,
where
big boy. I
states are starting to
appreciate you,
turn
Chief.
against me. I'm not a dictator. You are.
That's a breath of fresh air to see a donation when I'm not talking about Jack. AC did it earlier, man. We weren't talking about Jack, and he come through and he dropped some money on me, man.
But I'm actually going to do everything.
Was there any other president that
before?
ever? Was there ever any other president who decided to not take a salary?
Yeah.
Or was Trump the first one?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because I know he only took like $1 as his salary when normally at the
I know he took all the money that he was making off of his hotels and was just giving it to the U.S. Treasury. Yeah. Remember when he come into office, when he signed, he had all those fucking pins and shit. He had stacks and stacks of tax paperwork and all of his money. And like, he had it all, man. Yeah, I remember that time. I remember what you were saying was like only taking $1. Yeah, his salary, he was giving it back to the U.S.
To the Treasury.
Yes, you're right about that.
Much power and be disruptive.
I'm not a dictator,
Yeah,
but
he
my
didn't
family's gonna
want
profit
them
millions
fucking
of
with him.
dollars
So
on
he just said,
contracts
"Fuck
with
it,"
China
you know?
and Ukraine.
Right.
Obviously,
I'm not a
years,
dictator,
I'm not
but
making
my
nothing. I'm
son's
going
going to get
for
a
my
really,
country.
really nice
Here he's
BBL
doing
until
it
you guys
again.
catch it. And I have to sort of pretend otherwise.
I got like two thoughts. One is Trump, he kind of got caught out of context saying that he was going to be a dictator on day one. They asked him.
I don't think I really do think Trump has the best for our country in mind. I honestly do, dude. Do I think he's going to do it once he gets in office again? Maybe not. I mean, he didn't do what he said he was going to do last time. He fired a bunch of people, put a bunch of people in new shit. You're good, bro. You're good with him. Cooking at home. I bet that's fun, bro. If I was a cook, I would hate to fucking cook at home. I feel you though.
In that interview, are you a dictator yet? He's like, not even
put your
listening.
IG in the back chat so I can follow you on IG.
There you go.
Only on day one, I'm going to close the border.
He was joking.
And
yes?
yeah, and he wasn't really even answering the question they asked. He was just like, on day one, I'm going to do some extreme stuff. But this fervor for that even people would consider wanting this dictatorship in any way is like Roman Republic stuff. I mean, Julius Caesar came back with his troops and established a dictatorship because the Republic was so busted.
Was it 200 years of prosperity?
Well, they wrote the history books, so it's tough to tell. And I'm sure the rich Romans were getting on very good. But
There's no
the rest
way
of
for
society.
There's no way for 200 years you suppress dissent from people fleeing the country, especially in that era.
Man, I have no idea. They wrote all those history books. It's tough to tell. They just conquered and conquered.
Yeah, but anybody
killed.
could just leave and be like, here's what happened, and people would know. You know what I mean? Like, it would be within the writings of all neighboring nations, whatever, that it was terrible within the Roman Empire. There was no prosperity.
I don't hear a lot about the brutality of the Romans. I know that they were brutal to the non-Romans, to the sub-citizens, the slave class and the foreigners that lived there, but they don't talk a lot about it in the history books, at least not the ones I've been reading.
Hey,
but
we have talked about this quite a bit, that are we in the collapse of the Roman Empire or the start of the Roman Empire?
Yeah, it's like the Republic is shuddering, I would say. That doesn't mean it's going to fall apart necessarily, but it feels like the walls are shaking right now. And like, whoa, what's that green ooze pouring out of the walls? How long has that been in there?
What if
like
there's like
10 years?
An attempt on Trump's life and it causes him like disfiguration to his right side, but he also has to use like a voice box, so he's wearing like a mask. And then he's just like, I have dissolved the Senate. This is the new American Empire.
Hey, pause it right there.
Windu heroics.
I got you right here. Hold on.
Hold
on.
Go ahead.
I got you right here. Perfect. What he's saying right there.
You cut out.
Order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for a safe and secure society.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Boom.
That's how I know.
Fucking epic.
Bro, that's how I know you listen to metal, because you have that perfect metal voice.
You talking about that?
You see what she says?
We've got to. I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is how liberty falls, bro, and that's how the other thing will reign supreme.
That's it, because they convinced the majority of the masses who don't really know that this is what is in their best interest. So they applaud. They applaud giving up all of their freedoms.
Yep.
If it's cyclical, if there's anything we can do to help stop or make it better, I'm sure there is. Just gotta be
I wonder,
Make
man,
what
like,
better?
the transition from the American Republic into the new world order. Like it's going to be, we're part of a bigger global system now. The Republic's got some awesome ideals. And if we can inspire free speech all over the globe, that could be part of the system.
That's not part of the
But
global agenda.
Corporations don't like free speech. They want the owner of the corporation to run the show. That's the problem.
I think part of the reason that they have been so adamantly opposed to Trump winning this year, and they've really, I think, ratcheted up the attacks, particularly on the lawfare front. I think if you look at a lot of these kind of global agendas, whether it's like the UN and their sustainable development goals, the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset, a lot of, or even the Made in China 2025 initiative, but a lot of these kind of master plans, I would say the kind of ideological underpinning or framework, like if you really drill down as to what actually constitutes the New World Order, they're all set to conclude in 2030. And I think if you do the math, right, 2025, the term would start, it ends 2029. A Trump term now, as like a second, third Trump term, would be absolutely, I mean, a death knell, I think in some ways you could argue, for a lot, or at least a strong impediment to for their ability to really roll out a lot of these global agendas. And I think that's why they are in such heavy, full out panic mode about ensuring that Trump doesn't win this election.
100.
Yeah, and I think that's backed up by the way he ripped up the Trans-Pacific Partnership day 3 after he got in. Was like, we're not selling out.
The WHO.
Imagine our government.
Exactly. He said he could have done more, but put it this way: if the only person in between us becoming, New World Order, WHO, WEF, UN slaves, would you rather have it be Donald Trump, Nikki Haley, or Joe Biden?
Well, I know Trump a little better. I know the people that know him anyway, and I'd like to hang out with him. But I think that if he starts saying like, "Yo, we all want a new world order. This American military base everywhere, stomping on the neck of humanity is not good anymore. Let's figure out a better way." If he was like open, he's like, "We're going to make a new world order, and it's going to have American ideals at the center of it."
A new world order with American nationalism, economic nationalism. But I don't think. I mean, I'm not speaking on behalf of Trump, but his conception, I think, particularly if you look at how he has reformed the Republican Party, putting back in that economic nationalist populist perspective, at the bedrock of that is sovereignty, and the bedrock of sovereignty is borders. And that concept of borders and nation states, whether it's the Westphalian nation system or what we should have here with a secure southern border, that is fundamentally at odds with the concept that these New World Order type groups are pushing, which is global government, right? Because that implies that we're global citizens and that there's a global sovereign. And I don't think that Donald Trump or the kind of new version of the MAGA Republican Party believes in that to any extent. And I would say look no further than the fact that the guy who was advising the WHO on drafting a lot of the pretext to the current pandemic treaty that they're debating was Joe Biden's top biohealth advisor. So there's this very, very icky overlap between a lot of the WHOs, that even Joe Biden's supply chain sustainability coordinator is like a World Economic Forum alum. So all of these people have like weaseled their way in to really, I was going to say subvert, but it's not to subvert the Biden regime, it's to amplify. And I think to really complement what is this idea of global government, this idea that being an American doesn't mean anything. Look no further than the fact that in New York, they're handing out IDs to illegal aliens. That is like such a metaphorical example of what American citizenship means to these people. And it means nothing because they don't believe in borders, because they're globalists to their core.
Let's jump to, with a hard segue, to some cultural news, because this one's awesome. Shane Gillis is going to be hosting SNL on Saturday. And this is important for all of you because he was fired by Saturday Night Live in 2019 for surfaced jokes he had made on podcasts many years prior, where I think he did like an Asian accent. Oh,
they have DEI hirings, even if it's just a random corporation, being like,
it's not a position of power. So, for instance, I've actually experienced this. You know, having worked in an office with a bunch of women, I have worked with very capable women who are substantially better than half the guys. There was one producer that I worked with at Vice and later at Fusion who was like literally one of the best, and they treated her like crap. And when her documentaries actually won awards, she wasn't invited. And I'm like, see, that's a good example of them just being like, so it happens. However, that being said, there were also women who were hired just because they needed women. And then at meetings, you'd get like, do we have any ideas for pitches? And the guys would say something like, here's insert mediocre idea. Another guy would say, here's insert slightly good.
We got more. I got more for y'all, man. I mean, you know, hey, I'm not bullshitting y'all. Today we got more. Y'all with me in the chat? Back to President, $4.99 drop. Y'all appreciate you, Kevin Jones. Thank you so much, sir.
AD, you see the question I put, right?
Question for the chat. Do you think we need a one world government in order for humanity to advance into becoming an intersolar civilization? Yes.
Okay, so some people put yes. I know Primo said a big no, but a small yes. I want to get more people to kind of chime in on that. For the people,
I think it would be a big yes, small no.
So why
That's
do you?
my answer? Because I do believe there's a no. I do believe there's a no. I'm with you, Primo. I'm feeling you.
Why do you think that though? Why do you think that?
Because it's just too. You don't need people fighting to get to a country to habitate it together, which you're already fighting on a country that you can't. You know what I mean? We've seen what the race to the moon went, you know?
Right. So you think that we do need a one world government in order for us to go and colonize other planets in our own solar system?
Yes.
Okay. So for the people, for everybody else who thinks yes and agrees with AD, what is your reason for saying yes? And for the people who say no, what's your reason for saying no?
They're telling you. They're telling you, bro.
Hold on, let me because I only have one screen. So let me go back to the other screen and see what the chat says.
I'm bringing up something else. You're good.
Okay, so Primo, I see what you said about we need to fix us first, right? Like when you looking at it, right? When you're looking at the overall where the world is going, because it looks like they're trying to force us into this one world government, and you're saying no, we need to fix us first. Like give us a little bit more elaboration as to why you feel like that's not the direction that we should be going in. And DM Dub, if you get a chance to put in why you say hell no.
Yeah, the elites. I think D-Trail's gone to it, bro. The elites will still run it and make poor decisions. Yeah. Without the word of the average citizen.
Yeah, I don't. So Primo, it's not. I don't want to say interstellar means that we're leaving our solar system. That's the reason why I said intersolar, like within our solar system, meaning
on another planet.
Yeah, meaning like Mars or Titan on the Titan is the moon of Jupiter that they claim is the most habitable planet next to the Earth. So like I just wanted to get an understanding of what
you have to. I think you have to, like, by getting it together here first would be forming one world order government, basically. So I mean, talking about not being a one world order government and split like we are, I don't think we reach that.
So now, AD, when you say that, does that mean that you agree with what Biden and them are trying to do?
No,
because they're looking for the one world government.
Yeah, I'm not in agreement with one world government. I'm not even in agreement with habitating another planet right now. I'm not in agreement with any of this. Should we start like Elon's doing? Start progressing towards it? Sure, but we all know what that ends up with. I don't think we can do it without being a one world government, honestly. Because how do you make another planet habitable? How do you make another planet habitable without your planet being fully habitable with all the people not fighting.
Right. So
And
Armando,
that's a
my
good
bad.
point because,
Go ahead.
like, they get tricky. Like, sometimes, like me personally, right? I'm gonna just say this. I hate that we had internet too fast. I think some of the technology we have is better for civilization, but at some point before they could really regulate it, like just look at the show AI. They just let AI loose. Of course they had AI probably about 20, 30 years ago, but look how they rolled it out. We just know Chat GPT. Who the fuck is the owner of Chat GPT? Why was that the biggest thing for like 6 months? All we heard was, oh, this is AI. Now, every time you try to push a narrative or you do some bullshit, in the media eyes, you can say, oh, no, that was AI. I didn't do that. That was AI. That wasn't me. That was Chat GPT. And then we never see the faces. But these are our government programs. So it gets tricky. But my whole thing is, let me kind of sum it up. It gets tricky. So do you want the technology? Do you want the new shit? Or do you want to be stuck in the Stone Ages? Like some certain people on certain islands
it sounds
where
like
they don't
fake
have
news,
Wi-Fi.
or it sounds like a Babylon.
Right.
So
Make your poison.
So hold up with the video. So Blackout. So you know, like right now with like the Chat GPT, right? The new argument that started to come up was the people who program it, and because what they started to find was that Chat GPT had a lot of not so low key racist qualities of it.
Don't this always happen? It's a bunch of geeks. They build a program, and then they build it, and it takes off, and it end up being the wrong shit for what the core people feel it should be used for. And there's always an argument.
Exactly.
I think
D-Trail said a good point.
What did D-Trail say?
That's a great discussion. The people rushing to the one world government are failing miserably, keeping it together in their own respective countries. Yeah, they are.
D-Trail, that was dope.
They're having a hard time trying to make the people want to be that. You know what I mean? I would love for, let me say this. I would love for our world to be where we could love one another all throughout the land. I would love for that. But that's just not ever going to happen. Ever.
And why would we expect AI to make that happen?
Yeah.
Like that's the other part. Why would we expect AI to make that happen?
AI too? That's just like the framework of it. What lies inside of it is to be unknown.
Crisis.
It's still programmed by somebody. Yeah,
Crisis.
what's up?
You're missing a point. The more we could use AI for an excuse is the more AI could do shit without an excuse. It's going to become a narrative. Oh, that was AI. That was AI.
Yeah.
And when AI start doing shit, who are you going to have accountable?
So it's a way to skirt. It's a way to skirt responsibility
or repercussion too.
On,
yeah,
definitely. Come on, man.
Good point, man.
If I can run my company without having to talk to the employees without risking lawsuits, I'm gonna use an AI boss.
Yep.
I could pay $5.99 in the App Store
apparently
and have everything.
Aiding a war criminal, according to.
That's a fact, bro. So they're trying to. So EU lawmakers want to sanction Tucker Carlson over the Putin interview. Like they're acting as if he's Hitler. It says in 1941, American journalist Pierre Huss interviewed German dictator Adolf Hitler in German-occupied Russia as part of reporting staff orchestrated by CBS News. He won the George Polk Award for wartime reporting and was honored in the New York Times in his obituary. So why can't this man be honored?
Bro, they put Adolf Hitler.
You guys know that Trump just went up for the Nobel Peace Prize?
Did you know that Adolf Hitler was the man of the year in Time magazine? Adolf Hitler was the man of the year in Time magazine.
I know. Like so now why condemn fucking Tucker?
It's because they're scared of what Putin might actually say.
Yep.
The EU members of Parliament, former Belgian Prime Minister, current member of the European Parliament, who was
might actually
calling
speak
for the
English in this interview. He might speak English and be like, wait, I don't want y'all to translate and think y'all know what I said. I'm gonna talk to you in English because he speaks fluent English.
Does he?
Check this out.
It's clips of him with Trump talking English.
Putin speaks. He actually speaks 4 languages.
Awesome.
He speaks 4 languages fluently.
Do we think that we're going to get a bombshell interview like that, though? Do you think he's going to drop bombshells that are really going to shake the world up? Honestly, did he ask those questions?
I'm gonna be real with you, AD. Just because of the way that Elon Musk runs his platform, it's entirely possible that he might say some shit that is a little bit earth-shattering. And when I say earth-shattering, I mean like paradigm shift in terms of saying some things that we would have never heard from the mainstream media, because Elon Musk doesn't run his platform like the mainstream media. He lets
it however he wants. It's free.
He lets it all ride. He lets it all ride.
There's more porn on Twitter than there's anywhere else in the world.
Bro, we might be in. Look, this is it. This is
ban.
It's either a nothing burger or it's gonna be some big shit.
Yeah. I think what's gonna happen is I think Tucker's on his own agenda, and that's displaying that our media is lying. I do believe that.
I agree.
I think he's going to be there to focus on how much our media is lying to us. That's why I love Tucker, bro. He's on his you done fucked with the wrong guy mode. He is.
Because AD, you know what they keep telling us? They keep telling us that Ukraine is winning. But if Ukraine is winning, why do they keep asking for more money and more weapons?
And honestly, does anybody on this platform right now on this channel believe that Ukraine was ever going to win that war to begin with?
Hell no.
Fuck no.
Former Fox News host, as they say.
Fuck no.
Newsweek called up, and I guess was calling around Parliament all over the EU. Hey, what about that Carlson? What do you guys think?
How dare he travel abroad to a place we don't like?
Yeah, they're calling him a mouthpiece for former President Trump and a mouthpiece for Vladimir Putin. And
we on our political shit tonight, y'all. He's
assisting a war criminal, and then he should be arrested, sanctioned, wind up like Julian Assange. Really? Is this what we're talking about now?
Has anybody been sanctioned for interviewing George Bush or Obama? Or
I don't think Tucker's going to lead him into saying things about America that are detrimental, right? I don't think Tucker's going to do that.
No, Tucker's not stupid.
I believe the whole interview is going to have a narrative ran that our media is lying to us, because that's the shit Tucker's on right now. He got fired by Fox for bringing out real news.
Do not be surprised. Real quick, AD. Don't be surprised. Real quick, don't be surprised if you find out in this interview that he talks about the biolabs and that he talks about the Azov battalion. I think it's called the Azov battalion. The Azov battalion are literal neo-Nazis. Literal neo-Nazis. These are the people that he has defending the Ukraine. You know what I mean? So don't be surprised if he brings that out. Because if he decides to bring that out,
I bet he brings out that dam too. I bet he talks about that dam that they say shot down and shit, that flooded all that shit when really it was Ukraine.
Yep, the dam and the bridge bridge.
Here we go. It comes out tomorrow.
Criminal. You should be locked up for interviewing.
It drops tomorrow, man.
That's a good point.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like let's say like benefit of the doubt. Let's say okay, he is.
Yeah, I think so too, Kevin. Fox had a good guy. I think
if I wanted to be a mouthpiece for somebody, I'm allowed to do that. Isn't that sort of like constitutionally protected?
Right, you'd think.
I would think.
Well, you're constitutionally protected in the United States, right? But I guess in the European Union, of course, they don't really have those liberties, right? So I guess they can. We've seen this in Germany, going after journalists for their reporting in Ukraine. We've already seen that.
Wow. Germans want Ukraine to lose as well,
y'all. The European Union that are specifically doing that. So they don't have the same freedoms that the United States enjoys. Anders,
thank you, Kevin Jones. I appreciate that.
Just a few minutes ago. Yes.
You got 2 donations tonight, Frost, and didn't even speak about you.
He's an author, writes about Putin. He says the EU should sanction Tucker Carlson because he is no journalist, but a Kremlin propagandist. The EU has rightly sanctioned a score of leading Kremlin propagandists and many Europeans for various reasons. It would be a mistake not to sanction Tucker Carlson. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. He's supposed to be an academic, right?
And he's gone over the European Union. He didn't even stop in the European Union. So what does this have to do with Europe at all, other than the fact that they're so willing and desperate to sell a war?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what else I find
and inject themselves
funny about
into
the
this
whole
conversation.
thing? It's like a lot of the criticism that these people give about Putin is how he treats journalists. I mean, that's like one of the biggest criticisms. It's like, look at what he killed journalists. Look what he's done to journalists.
Which one? I think it might be the Y, bro. Kind of where it branches. The Y. That motherfucker Y branches off.
You're saying what they're calling for on a journalist.
Yeah, I guess they're saying that about him. I mean,
they are
and
close.
so meanwhile, the mainstream media
are
mine too. So it's not just
dude.
It's not just the political
man.
class.
The journalism that's going on in Ukraine, dude. When you see the Ukrainian fighters and shit, they're all skin-headed out. They look the part. I'm with
mainstream media.
Anybody just look up the Azov Battalion, bro.
They're all losing their mind.
I know. They all look
over Tucker announcing that he's completed an interview with Putin. They're calling him every name in the book, of course. Far right-wing propagandists, Putin stooge. They can't handle it, and they're mostly pissed about this part. At least the mainstream media is. They're mostly pissed about this part of Tucker's statement last night. Watch.
And yet the populations of the English-speaking countries seem mostly unaware.
For real,
they
for real.
Think that nothing has really changed, and they think
y'all are the
that
best, man.
because no one has told them the truth. Their media outlets are corrupt. They lie to their readers and viewers, and they do that mostly by omission.
See what I mean?
For example, since the day
this is his intro, y'all. This is his intro into this. Look, listen to this intro very carefully.
English-speaking countries seem mostly unaware. They think that nothing has really changed, and they think that because no one has told them the truth. Their media outlets are corrupt. They lie to their readers and viewers, and they do that mostly by omission. For example, since the day the war in Ukraine began, American media outlets have spoken to scores of people from Ukraine, and they've done scores of interviews with Ukrainian President Zelensky. We ourselves have put in a request for an interview with Zelensky, and we hope he accepts. But the interviews he's already done in the United States are not traditional interviews. They are fawning pep sessions specifically designed to amplify Zelensky's demand that the U.S. enter more deeply into a war in Eastern Europe and pay for it. That is not journalism. It is government propaganda. Propaganda of the ugliest kind, the kind that kills people. At the same time, our politicians and media outlets have been doing this, promoting a foreign leader like he's a new consumer brand. Not a single Western journalist has bothered to interview the president of the other country involved in this conflict, Vladimir Putin.
Bro, this is going to be to bust out the media. I believe that. That intro is beautiful, by the way, Tucker. You are great at this. Don't ever stop. When he got rid of that bow tie, bro, it turned ugly, didn't it?
Yeah.
I'm serious, bro.
That bow tie was ridiculous.
He went away for a minute, come back without the bow tie, and he's on a tearing spree, bro. And it's good. I think that's telling us what he's going to go. He's going to go in there and tell y'all been lied to, man.
It shows you when the shackles got took off. Remember, he used to be on CNN with this bald-headed
real right wing, bro.
He was on CNN. He was the right wing dude on CNN with the bald-headed dude who used to be a part of the Clinton administration. Yes. You know what I mean? And it's
then
like
he got real conservative when he took the bow tie off, man.
And basically, when he was on CNN, it was basically a glorified version of like whatever show Stephen A. Smith is on, where they would just yell at each other and nothing would ever be resolved. You know what I mean? But now you see him with the chains taken off. And
I wonder how much money that Elon's paying him.
I wonder too. To be honest with you,
I would love to know what that money pays, bro.
I was just like you, though. I was very skeptical of Elon in the beginning. I was real skeptical, but there's two things that Elon did that made me start to think a little bit differently.
What was that?
One is when he offered Starlink to all of the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip.
Yes.
And then Israel tried to like block him and not allow him to do that. And then the other was that comment that you read earlier, because that comment you read earlier was like, yo, that was the most gangster comment of 2024 so far. You know what I mean?
I think I started to shift a little bit when it come clear what he was going to do with X. And then he started to let all these people back on these platforms, and they're right back to exactly acting the way they want to act. And I'm fine with that, because that is, to me, free speech.
Now, don't get me wrong. Him doing these whole Neuralink tests on human beings, that shit still kind of concerns me.
Yes.
No, I mean,
but we got to advance as humans, right?
Yeah.
It has to, bro. I mean, isn't it?
But
are we holding ourselves back if we're not?
But you old enough to remember the movie Johnny Mnemonic?
Yes.
With Keanu Reeves?
Yes.
Like, once you
I
start
know
to
all about all this shit.
Okay, so you know about the hacking of the mind as well.
Absolutely. I know all the bad shit that could come
okay.
from it.
Okay.
They said I don't like Neuralink. I mean, but if you can give a blind man sight, is that not beautiful? You can give a man that can't walk because he's crippled because of his nerve system, bro. My cousin right now has got that disease where every bit of his bones are starting to like just he's going crippled, bro. Like every day he wakes up, he's becoming more crippled and more crippled, multiple sclerosis or something like that. It's something, man. My cousin has it. So if you can get something that goes into the brain and stop that, bro, I'm for that, right? I'm for it. But I do understand the implications. I do, man.
Yeah, I feel you, AD, but it's
a
like
hard line, man.
Yeah, that shit just has real transcendence vibes to me.
It does. Black Adam said Elon's the Antichrist. And in these times, we don't know either. We don't know what's good for us and what's bad, because we've gotten so many lies perpetuated, so much fucking false shit going in front of our faces that almost everything I fucking see is a lie. Almost everything, bro. It's becoming just a little bit fucking wild.
And on our Rumble chat says, because there
Who
was
cured the crippled Detroit
television in Australia. Good morning,
Jesus.
Down Under says there's no
Jesus,
mention of
bro.
any
You're
war
right.
or Tucker on breakfast
Salute to that fucking comment, bro.
television here in Australia. Yeah, isn't that shocking? See, you have to go to the alternative media. You literally can't get this.
Well, he made it real. He made himself real rich, real fast.
Tell you the truth about what's going on.
He's always had
last
money.
night when this broke, I watched this and I thought, sounds reasonable, because the mainstream media
You're
has
right,
been
Trill.
lying about the war in Ukraine, but they don't know it because mostly they don't study. They just take what the White House says for its word and they run with it. And they are so committed to the Putin is a madman narrative that they don't dig for themselves. And so they are largely ignorant. So I thought to myself, well, maybe they'll dig when they see this.
My problem is this too. Is everyone going to get their blindness cured? No. Only the people with money.
Hey, against
only those who
someone
can
that says
afford
we
it.
should hear
Yes.
all sides. Maybe this will shut them up. The lengths to which they have gone to discredit this and make it so that you don't watch it really upset me this morning. It was the first thing that I sort of consumed this morning while looking at to write the newsletter.
ladies and
And
gentlemen.
I just couldn't
Thank you for
believe
being
how
here.
dishonest and ignorant
Dollar
and how
fire.
committed to ignorance they are in their attempts to discredit this before they've seen it.
Yes.
It made me really.
Why are they
really
discrediting
sad,
it before they
actually.
see it? Give him a
I'm
break.
just waiting for Rachel Maddow to do her little piece. Like, we were going to play some of the clips of the Tucker Putin interview, but we feel like we can't be putting out this information because it's false and we don't want you guys to see it.
We'll put it
we
through
already know they do that.
We'll put it through our sieve,
And we'll tell you what you should
can-
see.
Yeah.
Right.
So that clip I just played of Tucker, where he's basically talking about, interviewing Putin, and of course them lying and how these media outlets are corrupt. That's what made them upset. That, of course, video has now been watched tens
Good
of millions
comment,
of
big
times,
boy.
not just on his own Twitter feed,
That's
but
a
it's been
good comment,
repurposed.
man. We're technically crossed the religious line with animal and human cloning, but we should be embracing the medical advancement. I agree. I'm with the medical shit.
But AD, I think you said it earlier about the transparency. technology with transparency is okay. Technology with no transparency means that we're trusting them to have our best interests in mind.
Yeah, you can't give that much power to people.
It's all over the world.
You know what else this made me think of is the fact that Tucker Carlson now is a template for a mainstream media journalist who's fired on the eve of war. And we had that already in Phil Donahue. Phil Donahue didn't have the reach of the internet to then say, well, then I'm going to tell you what you're not being told. I'm going to tell you the things
Phil
that I was
Donahue was a
fired for
breath of
trying to
fresh air,
say.
y'all.
He didn't have that option.
Yeah, he was anti-war. Phil
Right.
Donahue. Yeah, he spoke out against war. He called BS on globalists. Phil Donahue did. He called BS on warmongers.
Right.
Warmongers.
And so
He
we're
was
now
all over the
seeing
warmongers.
The beauty of the internet. I know there's a lot of ugly around the internet, but the fact that he can say
Everybody
nobody
thought
was going to put Phil
was a
Donahue on the
talk
air
show
to
host,
give him.
bro. No, the fuck he wasn't.
No, that dude.
That's where he had to go because they were basically pushing him out of media.
Right.
Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Right.
Phil was fucking smart.
Right. This is the Streisand effect on steroids.
Yes.
Is what this is.
Yes. Yeah.
For those of our audience that don't know what the Streisand effect is, can you explain?
I think it is damn
Well, it
ready.
has to do with her
Trail.
home on the.
What they want to do with it.
Or David, who brought it up.
You go ahead. No, it's fine.
You go ahead.
Okay, so it's just basically there was I can't remember like the exact situation where Barbara Streisand was getting ridiculed or whatever, and she tried to hide the information.
Good point, big boy.
By trying to hide it, it got elevated. And so anytime somebody tries to hide information, the opposite happens and it ends up getting more coverage than they wanted it to. So that's now called the Streisand effect.
I believe it was specifically her mansion on the cliffs of Southern California that she didn't want it publicized, or the address or where it was or the size of it or something like that. It's trying to hide
it was
something
small and crazy like that. But yeah, then it just completely exploded and everyone knew.
Yes.
All right, let's get back to this clip. So the clip that I just showed you,
was
let me just refresh your memory.
governor,
Tucker talked about the corrupt media outlets, and he talked about the
Cincinnati.
problems with journalists not wanting to interview Vladimir Putin, or at least not trying to get that side of the story out. They've been fawning over Zelensky for many, many years.
Let's tackle that real quick. Because what Big Boy just said was actually really important.
Yep.
You know what I mean? What Big Boy just said about, because I'm trying my best to go between the two different screens since I'm only on one monitor. What Big Boy just said about the transparency, you know what I mean? Would y'all prefer? Okay, let's verbalize it like this. Are you okay with your government being 100 years ahead of whatever they tell you that they actually have? That's the way I'm gonna structure this question.
No.
Okay. So when it comes to technological advances in their capabilities, because again, we have to trust them to believe that they're not gonna use these advancements against us. That's part of the trust that we give them as elected officials, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're not okay with them keeping certain things a secret because of national security, et cetera, where would you draw the line?
I'm good with that. I think, like I said before, they gave us too much freedom too fucking fast, and they can't regulate it. The same shit is going with AI. They just let it go, and now you got deep fakes, and you got a whole. And this is the beginning. AD, wait till a motherfucker control you, deep fake your voice, and call the hospital and do some weirdo shit.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
It's not regulated. They gave us too much shit too fast, bro.
Yeah.
And Blackout, does your bank have voice recognition now?
Hell no.
Okay, so my
I'm
bank
not
has
fucking with no voice recognition.
My bank has voice recognition.
It has eye recognition, but not the voice shit. That's weird.
So when you like for my bank, because I'm with a credit union, they actually have it where, and they almost bully
you can say something, then it records you, and then it's your voice. You're right. I've heard about it.
AD, you know what fucks them up is that my voice is so raspy that they can never capture it, so I'm not able to do.
No shit. That's a good
and
thing, though, man. I mean,
that is a good thing. That's an absolutely good thing for me, at least. But I'm just curious as to whether or not other banks have been trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, they are. There's a lot of systems in place for that. I've heard about it so many times.
So,
I ain't fucking with that shit.
So,
I'm not going for no voice rate. Not for my money.
We need 30-letter passwords. Like a crypto wallet. If anybody been in crypto, you know that password is a bitch.
They got like 16 fucking character fucking passwords.
That shit is crazy. And
so Blackout, do you feel like as if the way that we're moving, the direction that we're going in, right? Are we being lured in with the
we're in, bro. It ain't no more
man, we ain't ain't no more yo, it ain't no more luring, son. We are being ushered into this thing. And it's not even being ushered no more because, listen, what we're going through right now has been set up for like 30 years. And right now, the elites, the ones that we don't know the names, they are activating on hyper basis. Every opportunity they can to turn the screws on the people. They don't care what country, where they from. If you're not with them, they turn the screws, son. So listen, all that going to space and do what for who? Because listen, they can't get it right on this planet. How they getting it right out of space?
That's a fact.
All of that, all the technology, everybody jumping on, everybody been on, look, everybody use it, right? But we are being led down a one-way ticket to our own demise. And dudes, people, listen, yo, as you know what I'm saying, you in a stampede or a rush of people, yo, even if you fighting, listen, you going with the rush. And we rolling with rush right now, son. I mean, that's my input.
So I don't know how many of you have ever been to, especially if you're like over the age of 35 or 40, if you ever been to the old school slaughterhouses, and when they would put the cows on the conveyor belt to get the air gun to their forehead, you know what I mean? They wouldn't put them all on the same conveyor belt. The conveyor belt was split into two. And it's like then the splatter shield would come down. So some of them might think that because they're not going to the right, they going to the left, that they're not gonna get the same fate. When in reality, it's all the same fate.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's like that. Like these are the kind of questions that I ask to be able to drive conversation, because of the fact that I just want to understand like how many people are even looking at it from that lens.
Yeah, because you're doing you're doing a gauge, and I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to just see like, well, damn, I think about this way.
Right.
There are other people that think like this. Like, can I gauge? But it's kind of tricky. Like that's why I keep saying that word, and people in the comments might say, "Oh, blackout." That's why I keep saying it's tricky. It really is tricky, bro, because it depends on how you feel about things. I don't make over $100 grand a year, so I don't give a fuck. Politics don't really bother me unless it's some local shit. So that's where a lot of the middle to lower class people. That's all I be thinking. I don't give a fuck, man. That's some rich people shit. We don't care.
Bro. Politics has got a lot to do with rich folk.
Hey, listen, we don't get tax cuts, so we don't give a fuck about them. That's your problem.
But that's a whole nother trick bag too, because what we've lost as a society, man, is the fact of civics and the importance of civics. Because what they have done through the propaganda and the media, they got us thinking about the head of this country, who really in our day-to-day lives has no effect, right? So
you can use the right word, snake, the head of the snake.
I'm saying, but I'm still have respect for the country in the same token. But listen, they got us so focused on the national that we bypass the local, and that's what affects day to day. And like I've spoken before, and I've said it, by us not being focused on the local, right? What happens is that allows the local politicians that we can affect by making actual movement on them. We don't pay them any attention, so they are in the machine. No. So by the time we realize who they...
Hold on. They go to the highest bidder.
Bing, that's what I'm saying. They get in the machine. Once they in the machine, once we hear their name, it's too late. Once we hear their name and they say it's too late because they already got the backing to say, oh, that seat is theirs. They're gonna move and shake and they're gonna put forth the policies that at that point the constituency don't matter. Me and you don't matter. What matters is that money and who that money came from and what that money want them to do. And that's the trick bag we in now because, like I said, civics has been it's done on purpose. All this is on purpose.
Yeah.
But that's just my interjection. My bad. I need to cut nobody's wisdom.
No,
I agree, G. I agree.
What you said was fire, and then like
Yeah, it does start at a very local level. I agree.
it's like the same thing, AD, right? Like at my job, I'm the top, like I'm a chef. I work with probably like 5 other chefs.
Right.
We see shit wrong. Say it's 5, but 3 of us see the same issue. If all 5 of us is not on the same accord, what's gonna happen to the problem?
Oh, hey, yo, you keep going in and out. You keep going in and out.
You can hear me?
A little bit. You gotta come closer back to the mic.
Yo.
Yep, no,
There you
now
go,
we
you're
can hear
good.
you. Now we can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I was saying, all right, I'm a chef. So say we have 5 chefs. 3 of us see the same issue, but the other 2 people may not. They might be the people that's bringing the issue. Now, if we're not on the same accord to move forward and we're having conversations like, hey, we need to tighten up on this. We need to do better at this. Boom, 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 boom. If we're not agreeing with everything, what's going to happen? Nothing.
It's going to break down.
It's going to be this. It's going to be, and then you're going to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation because you're going to be the one talking against them in front of a bigger audience. And when I say bigger, that don't mean in numbers. That mean in corporate shit like this. Why you feel, and now you in front of these people stepping on the people that's doing the bullshit, and your homies, they with you because they agree. But you the duck out there.
But are they gonna step with you though?
Exactly. And 9 times out of 10, are you gonna lose your job for me?
Right.
Shit.
Right.
My bad.
So, and I wanted to say that because that's in politics. We all know what the problem is. We up here, we kicking it. We know what the vibes is. But are we all gonna do it? Or
No, that's a fact, Blackout. Look, 90% of the individuals on this planet are scared to lose
to jump
the
out
comfort. They're scared to lose the comfortability that they've already built for themselves.
Exactly. And why the fuck should I step out there? It like I want to stand on it. Is my neighbor going to stand on it? Is
Yeah.
Right.
My door might get kicked in, but he didn't stand on his, won't get kicked in.
Right.
Looking, you see 20 cop cars outside that motherfucker house. He's like, damn, that nigga was stupid. He should have shut the fuck up and listened to what the fuck.
And that's all he's gonna say about you. That's all he's gonna say about you.
And that's why we where we at now. And that's why we where we at now. Because like you said, first of all, great point. Nobody's ready to step out of their comfort zone because whatever little bit of comfortability they got, and we already know that nobody really comfortable if you ain't got it out here. But whatever little,
hold on,
whatever. My bad.
You said, well, Blackout, we all have a different interest. Okay.
No, he's right. He's saying just Blackout said he doesn't make 100K. Do you think he has the same interest as someone does? Right.
No, I don't fuck no. We in different tax brackets. That's what I'm saying. I just gave a perfect Kevin Jones. Please go back like 2 minutes. I broke it down perfectly, bro. Your neighbor, you and your neighbor could be on the same accord.
Right. Yeah.
He gonna back you when you jump out the window?
It's a different interest then.
For everybody. When you jump out the window for the greater good of everybody, is he gonna back you? No.
Right. What Blackout's talking about, he's talking about self-preservation. He's talking about self-preservation.
So I think he's saying Blackout's right.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that they're disagreeing with him. What I'm just saying that Blackout's talking about self-preservation. So
yeah, you got to. That's rule of law. That's what we born with. We always gonna protect ourselves. If you see a train coming 100 miles per hour and you homeless in a fucking train station, are you not gonna get out the way? self-preservation.
Well,
Yeah,
I found the full 4-minute interview from Tucker. Let's hear what you guys say.
We're in Moscow tonight. We're here to interview the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. We'll be doing that soon. There are risks to conducting an interview like this, obviously. So we've thought about it carefully over many months. Here's why we're doing it. First, because it's our job. We're in journalism. Our duty is to inform people. 2 years into a war that's reshaping the entire world, most Americans are not informed. They have no real idea what's happening in this region, here in Russia or 600 miles away in Ukraine. But they should know. They're paying for much of it in ways they might not fully yet perceive. The war in Ukraine is a human disaster. It's left hundreds of thousands of people dead, an entire generation of young Ukrainians, and it's depopulated the largest country in Europe. But the long-term effects are even more profound. This war has utterly reshaped the global military and trade alliances, and the sanctions that followed have as well. And in total, they have upended the world economy. The post-World War II economic order, the system that guaranteed prosperity in the West for more than 80 years, is coming apart very fast, and along with it, the dominance of the US dollar. These are not small changes. They are history.
Keep an eye on my six.
They will define the lives of our grandchildren. Most of the world understands this perfectly well. They can see it. Ask anyone in Asia or the Middle East what the future looks like.
You hear that?
And yet the populations of the English-speaking countries seem mostly unaware. They think that nothing has really changed. And they think that because no one has told them the truth. Their media outlets are corrupt. They lie to their readers and viewers. And they do that mostly by omission. For example, since the day the war in Ukraine began, American media outlets have spoken to scores of people from Ukraine, and they've done scores of interviews with Ukrainian President Zelensky.
Can you pause it real quick?
Put in a request for an interview.
Is it? I want to get the panel on the stage right now. Do you still consider it a lie if it's a lie by omission?
Yes.
Absolutely. If you're a journalist, hell yeah. That's important information you're leaving out. And it's always my fault. It's always important information they leave out. And that's how they tricking you, dog.
They always spin the narrative. They spin the narrative or they'll move the goalpost.
Yeah, by leaving out key pieces of information all the time.
My bad, go ahead.
I'm a little lost. Is it a lie? It's a mission? What is a mission?
It's a lie. It's a lie by omission. It's a lie by omission, not an outright blatant lie. Like, oh, yo, look at son down the block. Well, you tell him, yo, he had a hammer. Now you know son down the block got the thing. You tell him now it's all good down that way, and you know it's not good. That's a lie by omission because you know he ready to blame him.
And it goes deep. You know, it's like what the basic gaslighting that the media does.
I know I roughly explained that, but you got my drift.
Yeah, we got you.
So do you think so Blackout? Do you feel like the media right now? Do you feel like they're even doing what we expected to? You know, again, this is in our Constitution. In our Constitution, they actually specifically named a free press to be a part of our Constitution. So do you feel like this means that the people who are supposed to be a part of the press are not doing their constitutional duty? Blackout?
I think they full of shit. If they're doing exactly what Tucker been complaining about, because I don't really like. I get what you're trying to say, but
what they're doing is basically leaving info out.
No, see, the Constitution is not. It's okay. We have a constitutional right to a free press. Yes. Now, what we have is a free press, yes, but what we have is a compromised press, meaning that a lot of special interests paid money to. You can't get it back. They pay them. It's the money. It's the money.
And you're gonna report on it how we want you to report on it.
It's exactly. You could talk about our product, but don't talk about the side effects.
A Darkwing, but D. Trump said Lie by omission is an old school scholar spin move, and that's why I was confused. That's why I jumped out the window. I was like, wait, it sound a little tricky. I keep using that word.
Once again, it is. It's not like I said, it's not a blatant lie. Like, yo, did you see Sun down the block? Because you know we got that thing. No, I did not see him. Next circumstances, did you see Sun down the block? Who you talking about?
Oh, so that's how the police. All these niggas
Yeah, they're lying while not just giving you this.
What you talking about, fam? Or you know he coming and you just spin off like, yo, I gotta go. Like, you see how?
Yeah.
Did you see, son? Oh, I'm out. Yo, I gotta.
Already done.
Yeah, I got it.
In the United States are not traditional interviews. They are fawning pep sessions specifically designed to amplify Zelensky's demand that the U.S. enter more deeply into a war in Eastern Europe. And
begging for us to come in and pay for
that is not journalism. It is government propaganda.
Not our George
propaganda of the ugliest kind.
Yeah.
And it kills people. At the
My
same
bad,
time,
pardon
our
me, John.
politicians and media outlets have been doing this, promoting a foreign leader like he's a new consumer brand. Not a single Western journalist has bothered to interview the president of the other country involved in this conflict, Vladimir Putin. Most Americans have no idea why Putin invaded Ukraine or what his goals are now. They've never heard his voice. That's wrong. Americans have a right to know all they can about a war they're implicated in.
Yes.
And we have the right to tell them about it because we are Americans too. Freedom of speech is our birthright. We were born with the right to say what we believe. That right cannot be taken away no matter who is in the White House. But they're trying anyway. Almost 3 years ago, the Biden administration illegally spied on our text messages and then leaked the contents to their servants in the news media. They did this in order to stop a Putin interview that we were planning. Last month, we're pretty certain they did exactly the same thing once again. But this time, we came to Moscow anyway.
Good for you.
We are not here because we love Vladimir Putin. We are here because we love the United States. We want it to remain prosperous and free. We paid for this trip ourselves. We took no money from any government or group, nor are we charging people to see the interview. It is not behind a paywall. Anyone can watch the entire thing, shot live to tape and unedited, on our website.
Unedited. In a one day.
Elon Musk, to his great credit, has promised not to suppress or block this interview once we post it on his platform, X, and we're grateful for that. Western governments, by contrast, will certainly do their best to censor this video on other less principled platforms because that's what they do. They are afraid of information they can't control. But you have no reason to be afraid of it. We are not encouraging you to agree with what Putin may say in this interview, but we are urging you to watch it. You should know as much as you can. And then, like a free citizen and not a slave, you can decide for yourself. Thanks.
Thank you, Tucker. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
Man. Keeping it real.
Salute to Tucker for bringing real journalists.
Run that video I just sent you.
100%. Shout out to Tucker, son.
Yes, sir.
And I used to rock with Tucker when he had the bow tie too. I liked him back then. I liked him as an asshole. Dead ass.
He was super.
He was a super asshole. Yeah, but I used to like that shit. He used to kill the bow ties though. Nah, shit.
And low key, he used to destroy the dude who used to be a part of Bill Clinton's campaign. He was a punching bag. He used to destroy him every night. Man,
he was a punching bag for him. Yeah.
But
I like that.
AD, run that JFK shit I just sent you.
Tucker, Kevin has a. Kevin had a question. He said, "Question for the panel: if Tucker was on Fox, would he be doing the interview?" No.
No, hell no.
I mean, Fox is still controlled by those people anyway. So yeah,
no.
Bro, you got a lot to say, bro. Jump on. I don't know if you're busy, but you like I'm reading your comments.
Detroit, jump up, yo, jump up. But AD, run that JFK shit real quick.
Yeah, I got to be off here soon, y'all. I got to go to work.
No, I got you.
Yeah, get to that. Yo,
ladies and gentlemen,
appreciate y'all. Yo, I see what you're doing, Crisis. I appreciate that. I appreciate that action. Most deaf, yo.
Check out this video.
Society.
Yeah, I'm here.
Inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program.
And they got silent.
And from that understanding comes
Crisis, you don't have me play a silent ass video.
No, let it run.
I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people.
There you go.
For I have complete confidence in the response and dedication of our citizens whenever they are fully informed. I not only could not stifle controversy among your readers, I welcome it. This administration intends to be candid about its errors. For as a wise man once said, an error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We intend to accept full responsibility for our errors, and we expect you to point them out when we miss them. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy. And that is why our press was protected by the First Amendment, the only business in America specifically protected by the Constitution, not primarily to amuse and entertain, not
The
to
only
emphasize
business.
the trivial and the sentimental, not to simply give the public what it wants, but to inform, to arouse, to reflect, to state our dangers and our opportunities, to indicate our crises and our choices, to lead, mold, educate, and sometimes even anger public opinion.
He's telling
This
y'all,
means
man.
greater coverage and analysis of international news, for it
Be
is no longer
truthful in
far
your
away
news, man.
and foreign.
Won't be a Jack
but
Frost.
close at hand and local. It means greater attention to improved understanding of the news, as well as improved transmission.
So AD, my
It
notebook
means
don't matter.
finally that government at
Yours
all levels
might. His don't.
must meet its obligation to provide you with the fullest possible information.
He said, "Not
outside
going
the
to talk
narrow
out of my notebook."
of
Well,
national
please don't.
security. And so it is to the printing press.
We're begging you, Jack.
recorder of
We
man's
all we
deeds.
don't want
Hey,
the
check it out. Check it out, though. Check it out.
The courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.
That's
Bro,
so true, y'all.
He was challenging us to be. So look, when the Continental Congress left their convene, they asked Benjamin Franklin, "What did y'all decide on?" He said, "A republic, if you can keep it." The only thing,
why is this the first time I heard this speech? Answer me that,
bro.
question.
You know what's crazy though. You know what's crazy though, Blackout.
I've seen this speech.
It's not so big conspiracy. I just want you to answer.
No, I don't know why this is the first time, but honestly, like on some real shit, because we were talking about civics earlier, right? And I remember when I was in the 7th grade, we had to listen to this speech. We had to listen to this speech in the 7th grade.
Yeah, it's about free press and telling the truth in your press.
And you went to a public?
Yeah, I went to a public school.
Oh well.
Yeah, I've heard this speech before.
That's the first time I heard this shit.
And it's a well-known speech. D. Trail said he's seen it in the high schools.
Well, I guess if they had that type of program, you'll be involved in this type of shit. But that shit don't really move me, bro. It sounds good.
It kind of just speaks to a free press, like telling the truth in your fucking. Be honest in what you're saying, because it kind of drives our military forward. It can help with, and keeping our country safe. If you're giving the proper news, we can properly give.
Hey, AD, I'm glad you said that. Now, are they applying what he said? How long ago was that video?
That was from like when did JFK die? In like the 60s,
something, 60s.
Yeah. So when he said, go ahead.
Are we applying that to today?
Exactly, and that's the point of why I sent that to AD, because
that's why we should.
I wanted AD to play this because.
Hold on, Crisis. AD, like you said, it should be, but it ain't.
But if we are applying it to today, it could all be a shame. It's just wild, bro. Like our media's changed so much. This is 60.
Let's go back to the word I kept saying. Tricky. It's tricky because you got certain people that's controlled. They owned by the higher powers, and about 1% owns about 95%. So whatever I say it goes. It's the same shit with TV. It's the same shit with movie. It's the same shit with music. That's why you could go state to state. If you're a truck driver, that's why truck drivers don't listen to the radio, because you're gonna hear the same music cross country because it's syndicated by the same person.
And Blackout, here's the thing though. The thing is that over time, that particular message got usurped by what we're seeing today, because they did marginalize it. They made it hard for you to find. They made it so that people weren't playing it in schools anymore. Like I'm a little bit old.
They made it easier. They choose not to play this type of shit.
What I meant by that is like I'm a little bit older than you are. You know what I mean? When I was in school,
I'm 21. I don't know how old you are. I think you.
You see, you 21, nigga. You ain't 21, nigga.
All right, y'all. I gotta cut it, man. I gotta get to work.
Appreciate
y'all, man.
Hey, Crisis, I'm going up 11:30.
Hey, send me the link. Send me the link real quick in the back channel so I can follow you on IG.
Yo, AD, appreciate the hospitality. You already know it, boy. Get to work, do your thing. Be great. Be easy. Stay dangerous. Yeah, I'm gonna catch you in a minute, yo. Crisis, be good, son.
No doubt, bro.
The great.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll see you in a minute, yo. Come across. Come to my
Blackout, what's the name of your channel? Real quick.
It's my name, Wizard of Clout.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, go live. Somebody go live. I gotta have something to watch when I'm going to work, man.
I ain't coming on here to promote, but this was the great debate. I think that should be the title of the show, and that might be like a show. The great debate.
We could do that.
All right, AD. Salute, bro.
Appreciate you, G. Thanks for coming up, man. Everybody.
I got you, bro. All of y'all. Love y'all, yo. Y'all awesome.
All love, G. Hey, man, moral of the story is that we can all get along and have different opinions, different aspects on things. I enjoy hearing different people's, thoughts on different subjects and shit, man. I guess I will see y'all tomorrow. I gotta hit to the pavement and get to work, you know, because I got a job and shit I gotta go do. Unfortunately. See y'all. Y'all have a pretty good night, man. I appreciate y'all.